survive in for so long is just the crossfires are insane. The information is strong. It's going to have to be an explosive push right now. Toasty has the grenade at the ready. Doesn't go far enough, though.
Came up way short, but Ghibli's going to continue to press. PO's wrapping down to the bottom. Are they going to see him? DG's looking the wrong way, but PO's got him covered. That is the sawed-off getting the kill onto DG. Gumin trying to for Gumin. Foxy trying to sweep through the edge, trying to get the job done, but PO has Gumin down. It is a sweep for Gen G. They are trying to crush Ghibli. It is Toasty who remains.
Toasty right now knows that Pio is still just playing on the low ground. Pio just cannot die. Out in the open, finally Toasty's able to take him out, but the only one left for Ghibli. And the revive is coming in onto DG98. It's still a 1 versus 3. It's a hard push right now. Taman has the lineup.
Taman there has a weakened. Toasty just needs to find a few more bullets to connect and he'd have him, but no. Toasty, no helmet, trying to get away from this. Those head peeks are going to be super dangerous for him from now on. No heals being attempted yet. He's just going to try to play this one out. Pio not really resable in this particular situation. Toasty a little bit more time to play with.
And there's no reason for Ghibli to try and deny points right now. They're a lot higher than Gen G are. So going for the points is more important than trying to deny anything from Gen G, which is why Toasty is still in this round, but he's playing it slow. He's just looking for an opportunity, but he's running out of space. The blue pushing it at his back. We've already seen that it's been hard for him to prone down under shots and try and go for peaks because of it, and it's just running out.
Yeah, and you can see now Gen G knows that he's pinned against the blue, and they're trying to make it more difficult, trying to cut off the angles. I think at this point he's given up. There is not much left for him to do, so absolutely a great game here from Gen G. A 16-kill chicken dinner to start the day. This is the Gen G we have been looking for all tournament, and what a time to show up.
Yeah, they had a really good spot in the circle. They were gifted a little bit throughout the mid game and the late game for that, but to get 16 kills, that's not gifted. And the big question right now is, can Gen G use this as the momentum spark to have a much better rest of this run?
17 Gaming as well, putting up a ton of kills. But guys, we're going to watch some highlights and then go back over to the desk as we get ready for our second game of the day.
It's a GG for Gen G as they take home the first win of the day, and they do it in an outstanding 16-kill victory. My name's Taviz. I am joined by Avenger here on the desk to break down the action. Gen G needed to make some moves, and boy, did they do it.
I gotta say, 10 kills for Pio there. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's the reason why he's back here and why he's back on Gen G. Honestly, that was amazing to see how they're able to control so much terrain and completely lock down the end game there.
You know, Gen G's felt a little bit sleepy, if I'm being completely honest. Yesterday, I think we heard James talk about what's happening with the Korean teams. I don't know if they heard that and they got a little pep in their step, but they woke up this morning and they came to play as we see two of them in the big two here at the end. Also, I loved seeing the way Toasty played the end of that match. He put up a good fight.
He managed to knock Pio, and then he's like waiting enough time to get that extra point there. That's perfect from Toasty there. And of course, this means that we might see, there's a big chance we're going to see even more Korean teams in the grand finals, because Gen G had 34 points going into the day, right? They're one of the teams kind of on the cusp of the top 8. Now they're going to be in 60.
That's true. So they are going to be able to move up, and that gives them a little bit of freedom. Gen G strikes me as one of those teams that if they get the bit in their mouth, they can kind of run kind of like a Na'Vi and play their game. Everyone can stress out a little bit more about that. We also saw Sun Sister in third place on this game. Not something we see every time, but we attribute that to the trench and their sort of defensive play. Yeah,
they're able to hold down one of the creative positions in some time here. The circle went super far north at one point, right? And we were like, okay, it's not going to be kind of one of the walls of where you go into the canyon and the trench kind of fight out of the city, but it was way more focused on the top hill there, kind of triangle, Dorito, whatever you want to call it, the pizza slice there, that it often ends on once we have these kind of Elasa high endings.
Yeah, and then we also saw 17 putting in some very good work. We saw the pickup and carry, a lot of hustle, and really I think it was Ghibli that saved their lives a few times. His Sun Sister just couldn't quite finish the job. So 17 also a team that coming into the losers bracket, we had a lot of questions about. It's a team that was expected to possibly be contending for the overall win and has been struggling so far.
Yeah, I gotta say though, another team that I was kind of looking at here and how it was also happening was Twisted Minds and Petro Caro.
Yes.
I was like, they're very meticulous with how they're taking the fight, and I really like that though. But I gotta say, that's interesting, especially with the 26 points that Gen G is able to get here from this one. That is the huge one here. You see 16 kills, 2,600 or 2,300 damage. Not that much utility, but it just kind of talks to how much control they had of the terrain.
You don't need utility when you got hot lead, and that's what Gen G, especially on the back of Pio, who I think got 10 or something ridiculous.
10 himself, yeah.
10 kills on his own, puts the Gen G-shaped backpack on, and runs towards the chicken dinner. Ghibli comes out second. Sun Sister only 1 kill, but you know what? It's a team that needed to get some points. And 17 with 13 kills. You take nothing away. They played that game, Xiaobei in particular, very well. Let's take a look back at what happened in that match.
Yeah, they popped off completely here. Also, Ghibli in a situation where they're getting out of Elasa, right? But this fight here, this three-way rough fight with G, X, you have Sun Sister, third party, you have Gen G kind of peeking up from the very top of the ground there. There's an interesting one. But Xiaobei there with the double nades, or it's not even double nade, it's singular. You gotta knock them with each nade there onto Luminosity Gaming, and they're able to close that on out quite nice. It's super well executed here by 17 Gaming.
Yeah, 17 definitely taken to Luminosity. Granted, not a lot of cover there. I think they were not expecting that sort of contact when they got it. But 17, that's what you do. You capitalize on those openings. Now we're going to go to the final circle here. We see Gen G versus Ghibli. Ultimately, Gen G gets it down to a 2v1. And then you kept telling me Tosi is peaking honest. Is that what you said? What is that?
He's taking honest, right? Like he's not healing, so he's just taking an honest fight until somebody wins. But he managed to get down Pio. He waited long enough for the bleed to go through as well for that point, and then he ended up denying there. So super well executed by him. He kind of squeezed as much points he could out of that late game. Of course, Pio here, 1,123 damage and 10 kills. That is amazing. Super well played by Pio here.
That is absolutely, and sometimes that's the spark you need. You heard Luminosity's coach talk about that. They had one game that kind of brought them back into fight. Gen G has this amazing play on the back of Pio. I know that Paperthin was dancing in the corner. It's Paperthin's birthday. Happy birthday, by the way, buddy. Pio wanted to send you a present today. Kicked it off with 10 kills and 1,100 damage. I mean, look at this. Absolute control in that game.
Yeah, super. I mean, some more times we have had these 1K clubbers here, but when you have 10 kills with it as well, that's the big one, right?
I mean, only 64 players drop and you can't kill your teammates. So that's a sixth of the lobby goes the way of this man.
There's a limited amount of players available, and you're able to take all this, and you also have 6 on the rest of the team, right? It's kind of crazy once you're into this one.
That's that 16K club, so they do knock out a fourth of the lobby as they put points in their pockets. Take a look at the team summary right now. Who's putting up points? Twisted Minds. It's amazing what you can do when you're not stuck in a hot drop 24/7.
I gotta say though, but Gen G jumping up in the first place for survival time, they've been able to really stick it throughout the late game here, and that's what's giving them points for sure.
It feels like they changed it up. Earlier in this event, they seemed like they were playing to take those fights early, maybe get a little frag heavy. This time they've backed off. They're playing a little safer, and it's resulted in 26 points off the back of that match. Sliding down, we do see PLM, another team that was in the bottom coming into this thing in 15th place, does manage to put 6 kills on the board. No placement, but for a team that struggled to get any placement points, that's at least something.
Yeah, for sure. 3 teams on double digits that are talking about, and I gotta say, it's kind of nice to see 17 Gaming with 17 points.
Yes.
Like, I gotta say, that's kind of lovely.
It's got good vibes. All right, let's take a look at the overall leaderboard. Remember, top 8 is what matters. Yes, LG is at 66, but that 8th place cutoff is where the $10,000 difference, as well as the advance to the winner's bracket, comes into play. Gen G, 60 points. Are you comfortable saying that they are going the distance?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'll say right now the interesting one is, of course, this new heavy and shoot to kill. The difference there from 7 to 8 is 12 points. Yeah. This is kind of a big one, right? And if you're able to do, your 10, 15 points right now, for 5 games, you're looking really strong in this case. But if you're 60 plus, 59 plus right now, I'd say our top 4 is pretty certain to go through to the grand final.
I think that's pretty good. Now, if you are one of those teams that's in that 7th or 8th place, you want to get that little buffer going. We saw SDK in the last round of play. They went in 8th place. They had a buffer, but it wasn't enough as Donoa leapfrogged them and knocked them here to the loser's bracket. So that is what's going to matter. Now, here's my question for you. We see Twisted Minds doing well. Petrichor a little bit in the middle pack now. Is there a world where Twisted Minds decides to try to keep them out of the grand final?
I talked to them. I entertained the idea, and they said, no, we're playing our game.
That's nice of them.
Yeah.
That's nice of them. But you never know.
They could be feeling, happy and looking good and being so far ahead, and Petrichor being on the cusp. Stuff could change, and yeah, but I entertained the idea for them, and they said, no, we're playing our game. We just want to make sure we have our loot spot, especially. And another kind of talk is we have this is the first global, right?
Right.
And if you are persistent in dropping into your drop spot at the first global, you might be able to secure it for the rest of the year.
That is absolutely true. A big one to talk about, we saw Gen G, they played that very safely. They did something that I haven't seen them do yet. They made that was a weird circle, and Gen G rotated all the way around by the north border. We're not interested in fighting, just sort of played it safe. Is that how you deal with these sort of, how often do we see this circle, to be completely honest?
It's a rare one, right? But, the longer rotations here is something you have to do once you're in Gen G's shoes, right? But they know that these circles here, they kind of pizza slice off Lazada. It's a very, very common ending once we're over there. We haven't really happened too much in the regionals or the tournaments leading up to this that's playing on the same patch, but it is a often one because of the land race there, how everything is working for Phase 4. So we've seen a lot of endings there historically.
We're getting a chance to look in at some of the players. We get ready to launch game number 2 in just a minute. We saw FaZe, we saw STK, and here they are, the Twisted Minds. They started slow in this event because of that hot drop. They said they're going to play their game going into these next rounds. And so far, again, there's another team that seems like they've woken up and they're finally getting the pulse of the lobby.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've been a little bit sad to see that they're not as hyped as they usually are. But it's always rough when you're in a situation where you're getting hot dropped, where you're contested, and you can't focus on your long game, because these guys are lovers and enjoyers of endgame. They're strategic minds, and they're really loving how to get into the later stages of the game, right?
There's a lover of endgame. It's Chris. If you want a player who can get into the endgame, who can survive when the team is struggling, it seems to be that guy. I don't know what his secret is, but as far as anchors go, he seems strong.
Yeah, I love what I'm seeing from him, and I hope they're ready to get through here to the grand final. But we'll see. We have 5 more games to go. The next one is ready.
All right, it's time for us to get into game number 2 here at PGS1, co-hosted by Crafton and VSPO. Let's go to the explosive commentary of Cammy D and Paper Thin.
Thank you so much, Toffees and Avenger. We are ready for Erangel here. Certainly an explosive start, and the games will almost assuredly deliver as we go on. And Erangel is where we find ourselves, and obviously, Genji, yes, thank you for the birthday present, Pio. I appreciate it. That's very nice of you.
Yes, did Pio know that you didn't put him on your fantasy roster? He's going to run out of his booth and take that.
That one a secret.
You had a couple of Koreans there. Like,
I did.
Heaven.
I have Heaven today, yeah. So, you know what? I'm in the mix at least. All right, Plane Path is going to be heading towards Pachinki. And, of course, LG, another favorable plane path for their preferred drop spot.
Yeah, they can finally land there. As I said, I believe in one of the earlier stages, Luminosity during groups were able to drop on their loot spot once throughout the entirety of groups. It was so many, or no, this might have been winners actually, but it was so many bad planes in a row for them. And they said, you know what? We got them all out of the way. Can't get worse. To which I said, I think you might have just jinxed it, but at the moment it looks good. It looks fine. It looks fine. It starts. They have the best drop spot for this plane path, so maybe they're right.
I think they were onto something. Maybe we'll see. FaZe and Milta, as per usual, they are a very strong team out of this position. We've seen a lot of prison and lumberyard area circles that they have done very, very well on. See where the circle is going to make its appearance as we wait for that.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please. Am I too fast for that? I was a little too early, maybe.
Okay, but why we surely it should be up right now.
Have you noticed that the timer stuck on phase 1? There it goes. We are a little bit nervous there for a moment, but we're okay. We are going to down to the military island, maybe.
That was the circle giving us a little few extra moments of anticipation for this, because that is, do you call this a split phase 1 or milli phase 1? Because the entirety of military base, 99% of military island is in this zone, but there's still enough of the mainland that there's the possibility of it swinging north, and some teams might just stay up there for phase. Well, this, I think, is one of the harder circles to judge, because if it is 50-50 split, you kind of just flip a coin and gamble, right? But here it seems weighted in a way that I imagine it's based purely on, I mean, it sounds stupid to say, it sounds like a Madden comment based on where your drop spot is. But honestly, I don't know if there's a way you can really strategize this. You just sort of go with what feels right.
But if you score more points, you win the game. That's my John Madden commentary right there.
It's true, though.
You
should be an
ball over
analyst.
the line. Yeah, I should be. I would guess just by eyeballing this circle that it's like 70-30 military island. But, you know, again,
Yeah.
I don't know if my math is fully correct on that, but that's just my eyeball rough guesstimate.
But we've also seen enough hardships here
That's
got to be in the back of everyone's mind. Like, statistically, yes, it should continue. It's very favored to go Sosnovka, but with the energy that this entire event has been giving us, I feel like it's almost guaranteed to go back to the mainland.
I do love that energy, though. I'm not going to lie. I'm an agent of chaos. I thrive on those awful circles. And look, I'm gonna be honest. This one has the makings of another one.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad as we see a lot of teams rotate Pentagram right now, taking boats. They're going towards Sosnovka already. And in fact, I believe New Happy are already on the island too. FaZe now crossing. So it seems that, at least for these teams that have early access to the island, they're not going to skip a beat and they're going to immediately just get onto Sosnovka before the teams that dropped there, looking at GEX and Purple Mood, can sort of reestablish a better holding position. In fact, they might just have one of their spots taken by these quickly rotating teams.
Absolutely. I think everybody's kind of keenly aware of how important it is to be on the more likely side of this circle, particularly because of bridge campers, because people need points. I mean, I think especially in today's situation, with like we saw this with EXO in the previous game, right? Teams are going to be hungry on those edges.
Yeah, looking at the kills top 5 from the previous match, Akita is in there. EXO were very active, taking out Third Eye in the early game, but then weren't able to do much more than that. But the fact that Akita has all 5 kills that the team got, again, just shows how strong of a player he is. And so we're looking at EXO to continue to try and steal kills. And this is sort of a perfect circle for them to sort of have that playstyle. But right now, New Happy get crashed by FaZe, or rather it's just HS. The rest of New Happy are a little delayed behind. This is giving FaZe an opportunity, but Corexi's going to be knocking his own teammate. That is not what you like to see.
Yeah, a little bit of a whoopsie daisies, but HS doesn't have much room to maneuver up in the attic of Grandma's house. This time Corexi's good for the knock on his Beyond, but Nan just slams in there and finishes off Bex. Wicked stealing the kill onto Zepion. So FaZe here, even though they make this crash, they make this attack, so far it is not going great.
I'm surprised that HS didn't get taken out for the mollies, but Corexi and G both with really powerful grenades. Ming Ming is totally killed and confirmed. Nan is crawling on his knees.
Grenade out from Gustav, hoping that maybe HS try to push out the corner. Wow, that was fast. Can't find the flush. Still in the invulnerable state was Gustav, so he has to switch over to the barrel to go for it. Take some parting shots in the back, out the door. Corexi now going to be wrapping around, going for the jump shot. Oh, HS had an opportunity, but could not convert. And New Happy is out in 16th place.
It was really close there. It's just doing a lot of work with the shotgun at the very end, but good for the rest of FaZe to have good timing on the double peek to make sure that the shotgun, if it did get one more knock, wouldn't be able to get the confirm or at least go for the final 1v1. So a lot of damage on the FaZe. Pentagram backed away from that fight. It looked like all those teams wanted that same compound. And now we see other teams continue to rotate through. 17 and now STK, who are very much fans of the nautical rotation.
That's not the ferry.
I know.
Come on. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. They're on a budget right now.
Yeah, they can't afford the ferry. They had to rent, they had to charter. Wouldn't that be more expensive?
Actually, yeah,
Unless you steal the boat, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at a replay here from the previous match, and this Twisted Minds when they're trying to get across Purple Mood. This spray transfer from Boarboats was very nice.
Purple Mood, they have a lot of good moments getting kills, but they seem to be continuing this entire tournament to be evading placements. They get like 3 or 4 kills and then they go out. Or rather, on average, it's more like 2 at the moment. Maybe my math is terrible. Yeah, it's still around 2. Just above that. So if they can get a couple of placement points, and this is a great circle for that to happen, because they loot on Sosnovka Island, but Corexi's still getting some damage and knocks in the kill feed. Actually, James is rotating around. With 2 players, their FaZe are still trying to go for a split.
Yeah, Corexi's really been dialed in the last couple of days, and finding some huge moments for FaZe, keeping them very much in this thing. Right now, sitting at 5th place overall, so certainly in a really good spot to get through to the grand finals. Just need to have a steady day, and it should be no big deal for FaZe. Pentagram, though, on the other hand, down in the 12th, needs to have a big day if they're going to get through. They're only sitting on, it's like 26 points right now, and that's not going to cut it.
Yeah, certainly not. Certainly not. EXO now leaving Georgia Bowl. Ascend are crossing at the exact same time. So if they recognize that Kang is the lone player from EXO left behind, they could try and isolate him, but with the rotation they all have to make, I mean, Ascend had an opportunity against Gen G and they didn't take it then, so they're certainly not going to take that now. They just got to get to this next zone. Everyone else has figured that it's going to be Sosnovka. They're not worried about the bad juju of the hard shifts that we've been seeing, which is going to give these teams like EXO and Ascend space on the mainland, though they are, of course, going to be looking for making those first steps on having that line to cross.
Ghibli trying to control the bridge. On the northern side, Gubin, though, taking a chunk of damage from Twisted Minds. Some long-range shots here from the other members of Ghibli. Just trying to keep them safe. Genji and PO, I can tell you from lots of experience watching PO's teams that this is their MO on military circles, whether it be South George or here in Yaz. He is going to take his time on this. They are going to play late and safe, typically.
Yeah, I mean, they play like that already. And so when it's this type of circle, which the two sides of the decisions are, do we try and go and fight now, or do we just wait as long as possible and bring as much loot into the game that we start as possible? It makes perfect sense that they're going to go for the latter. Petrichor Road now crossing that western bridge, setting up I don't know, do you really call this a camp, or it's definitely a toll?
I like that better. It's a toll you have to pay to try to cross. It's a pseudo camp potentially. Like if you wrap east off the bridge, you could potentially run into them. Purple Mood is going to claim the tower. I knew this is where LG wanted to go. Like you can just feel it in your bones whenever you have a melee circle.
It's such a historically strong spot for Luminosity. Even if they didn't choose to go here, their GPS would send them here anyway. But do they expect Purple Mood? We do actually see Heikeman getting taken out by It's Chris, so maybe Ascend are a lot more likely and willing to go for a fight, especially now that this is technically inside the zone of phase number 1. But here, Fluky and Tanawat actually on the low side. Well, they didn't know that they were here. They do now. Snake is trying to answer back, is able to get the knock.
All right, now Thunder's trying to play damage control because that's 2 members down for Purple Mood. Thunders, though, immediately backed off by some accurate fire from LG. Tanawat as well beat up. Purple Mood cannot find much footing. Yes, they've knocked Flood, but right now they have no hope of getting the flush.
Yeah, not yet at least. Tanawat's going to come up with something huge, but the amount of pressure, the amount of grenades, and just... Oh, well, yeah, he's able to get one on a kickstart. Relo unable to answer back immediately. The follow-up grenade isn't going far enough, but at this point, LG need to decide, do you go for a revive? But Thunder's on the high ground. The spray looked good. It got there in the end.
Oh, LG maybe overcommitting a bit to this push onto Tanawat, and that knock onto kickstart was huge. Thunders had Relo out in the open and is able to find the flush onto him. Now Snakers has to play recovery here as Boarboat's looking to be rezzed on the top side. Tanawat switching over to the SLR temporarily, but took some more damage and is going to have to go for the heal. Thunder's now trying to see if he can find an angle onto the survivors here of LG.
I don't know if he's going to... Oh, he's actually able to find it. Xago's running out in the open. The spray is not landing. Finally, in the end, he's able to make it work. Fluky does bleed out in the meantime, so that's at least another point for LG, but they are eliminated in 15th place. That is not the type of game that any of us were expecting here.
And now we know for certain that this circle is going to go military. No shenanigans this one around during that fight. It did shift down, so absolutely nothing super crazy just yet. I mean, of course, there's still the option for some hard shifts and those kind of things, but we aren't going to have any 50-50s across the river that make us scratch our heads and you know, pray to the PUBG gods that it goes our way. Third Eye sitting just to the east of Pentagram, driving a bit in their direction towards this forest. There's terrain to play with in this forest, but a lot of teams are going to be opting to try to scoot in as close to they can as the military base.
Yeah, Pentagram are actually on a 2-2 split. Hikaria and Wicked completely separated from the other pair on the north side. And so Third Eye, well, they don't know about their presence yet, but if they're somehow able to sniff them out, this could be a really, really hard hold for Pentagram to just stay alive. I don't know if they really planned on being in this position, because there's GEX with potential angles on them to the south, but the shots are opening up from Wicked with the knock on the Vox. Once again, Vox goes down first for Third Eye. He hasn't been able to play his game so far today. He is going to get confirmed as well, and Hikari is waiting for a sneaky opportunity to also surprise Third Eye, but taking it a bit slow.
Third Eye, I'm not sure if they fully realize it, but they are potentially surrounded here by Pentagram. I'd like to see Pentagram get a lockdown here. They need points, and they are perfectly positioned to flank the hell out of Third Eye right now. Akkad working up on the side. He's got the opener with the Scar, takes some damage himself, though. Wicked now springs into action, finds the knock onto Adam. Oldless follows quickly, and Third Eye down to their last player.
What a great strike by Pentagram. Adder shoots first. Even though he's not able to get the initial knock onto Adam, one bullet was all that was needed. Left Wicked is there on the south. Once those Third Eye eyes went towards the north, he attacks from the south, and it is Richie B, Richard Bisler, the man himself, running away, tail between his legs. And Tanawat is here. I don't think he's spotted Richie just yet, but this is still the remaining hope of Third Eye in this round. Stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, certainly Tanawat knows that there is a survivor out there, and he is looking for it and looking for that, potentially easy point. And yeah, Third Eye going to need to grow a fourth eye with the way things are going here so far today. Hasn't been their day just yet. Twisted Minds way on the northern edge. Genji out there as well, but the circle is going to shift towards the military base. Hard shift down to the southwest.
We still got the hard shifts. We guaranteed that it was going to be Sosnovka, but we're still getting hard shifts. 17 immediately sending it down south, trying to swing past Sosnovka, or at least through. They might be stopping short and take these pieces of hard cover here, but it's going to be the plain graveyard that is that strip in the dead center, and then a few teams that are already on the south side, but there's a lot less space to play there. It's weird. Like, do you go for the south side where there are fewer teams already, or do you hold the north where there are more places to play, but everyone's going to be coming in from that same direction?
It's a tough gamble that the 14 remaining teams are going to have to make. Absolutely, Cammy. Ascend is going to opt for the southern area. And funnily enough, that compound is open, actually, just to the north of the mini pier that's on the military island. So the Millie Pier, I guess you could call it. That's a pretty good name for it, actually.
Yeah.
People probably already call it that, and I'm just like, I'm so smart, I just came up with it.
Hey, don't worry. I'll give you a gold star for it.
Thanks.
I got some stickers in my backpack. I'll give it to you later.
Yay! Look at me now, Dad. All right, we go up.
It's better than your physics degree.
It's way better. It's more valuable by far.
Aw.
Well, not really, but
Go. Wow.
Sorry, I didn't mean to diss your stars. Hope you don't mind. All right,
public broadcast of all places.
Yeah, where else? How dare I? All right, Twisted Minds now sitting in towards 17. Batulin's leading the charge for the boys, and let's see if they are going to be able to get in past the defensive lines of 17 Gaming, or if there is a brawl. There are, of course, some of those cars and other doodads around this part of the map that they can use. A little bit further to the southwest, there's those craters and dips and those kind of things, but they're going to opt to go into these garages. Suju is right here, ready and waiting. Shao DD on the other side. He's going to hear the first one. He's going to get the knock, but he's surrounded. Good trade here for Twisted Minds to start the fight.
This is a very confusing hold by 17 because they were spread out, but they had no angles to defend each other from a push just like this. Suju was one and done. The revive for Twisted Minds is going to be easy coming on in. You see Shao DD with the shotgun in hand, expecting a push, but no, not able to answer back in range right now. Genji trying to send in onto SDK, but they're getting the knock, they're getting the kills, they're getting the flushes.
This is a pretty blind send. Genji was all the way on the other side of the circle.
Yeah.
Curdy here trying to do some work, and he is. It's Tanawat actually that's going to sit him down. Taming gets Penta, going to get the flush as well. Taming still alive. Only Vegas now for shoot to kill, but it's Taming from Kui who goes down. So Vegas does survive for now, but for how long is STA going to be able to hold that position down?
They get peppered by so many different angles. EXO now crashing in onto Pentagram, who had also relocated here to the northeast side. Kang now sharing a wall with Akkad, empty healing on up. EXO got wounded on this push. They're already wounded from Ascend earlier, but now they're down to 2. Akkad with a really nice spray down into Kong.
Yeah, good opener here. Gonna go for the grenade. Did he catch the head there of Empty? He did, and he's gonna bounce a grenade in there. Empty's gone. Nice two-piece from Akkad. Gives Pentagram much needed points.
That was a perfect grenade. Empty knew that there was no running away from that one. Bounces at your feet and you just give it up. You just let go of the mouse because it's not getting away from that. Twisted Minds, however, they're getting away from 17. This circle did medium shift a little bit towards the southeast, which means that 17, they'd rather rotate around than push through 17, which now that their presence is known, I think is a really good decision. But Petrichor Road angles on the STK earlier, now angles to the north.
Petrichor Road has great control over a lot of different areas of this circle, but still Perfectix and Twisted Minds making life miserable for 17 Gaming, who just had such a good start to the day, and then to come into this game and lose two strong players. Everybody on this team, of course, very strong, but losing them early like this is disastrous. Tires being blown out in front of Perfectix on the way through, so some Dacia is protected, though. They might, let's see if they're going to use these. I'm pretty curious about how Twisted Minds wants to approach this. Yeah, I think they're going to try to use the vehicles.
They used it for a quick second to scout to see if anyone was hiding inside, so definitely good heads-up play just in case 17 tried to pull Trick onto them. But they're at least going to be using it for a quick rotation. Pentagon also use their own vehicles, rotate in onto Purple Mood's positions, the crate. But FaZe also pushing in from the north side. 17 can get approached from multiple angles, and that's GEX2 that might also have some sight lines.
All right, Jeems has to prone it down behind the barrels. Try to wait this out, get a little bit of healing going. Corexi on the other end of him. Of course, FaZe just down to those two players, so they have to be overly cautious, but it is good for FaZe in the fact that it's only a 2-2 in terms of this particular battle. You never know when third parties might get involved, but Xiaobei trying to spot the edge around this cement block, seeing if anybody's going to peek. So far, nobody is. Richie B actually does take down Adder from Pentagram from out in the blue, so able to find a smidge of revenge.
Yeah, a little point, 1 point, but now that his position is known, he's just going to be kept out as Jeems sprayed onto Little Ghost. Can't quite get the final few bullets in. The smoke blocking the way. Can't see through those. And Xiaobei trying to shoot back onto Corexi, and the blue is coming in. Neither of these teams, neither of these pairs has a position in the zone. Twisted Minds looped right in front of them.
Corexi, good shots. Jeems with the finish. And that is going to be FaZe Clan with 5 kills between Jeems and Corexi. So they're doing a really nice job with this salvage. Pentagram here channeling their inner Lash K, trying to take these. He just loves these particular shelters. He's always at them, I find out. So Pentagram, though, did lose 1 player. Petrichor Road, 3 kills, seeing if they can continue to make their way through the airplane graveyard and find more success.
Twisted Minds find, I guess it's a dip. It's something that's not a dip pretending to be a dip, but so got 4 grenades from Sun Sister. Oh, they're not quite throwing them just yet.
Oh,
but they're getting ready for it. Yeah, come on, nail it in, nail it in. There it is, 3-piece go on through.
Let's go. The first one comes up short. The second one is good. The third isn't going to find the mark either, but still not too bad here for Sun Sister. They have a few more in the bag. They can start to really do some serious damage. Circle is going to shift over to the east in the meantime. That's going to send Petrichor Road scrambling to take advantage of this fight.
Already looping on in. Vegas, last one left for STK, forced to fall away lest he get crashed by Petrichor Road. And Ascend also might have eyes on this exact spot too, on being on the edge, because there's a lot of open ground in the center of the zone. Ghibli with a good high ground position, very similar spot from the last game.
Yeah, teams really like to play from this forest. It's a really defendable spot compared to some. Again, coming down off that hill will be tricky potentially, but I have to assume that Ghibli's vehicles are in relatively decent shape at this stage in the game, given how little pressure they've had.
Yeah, and at the very least, they can deal some damage and lighten the load. For now, Heaven gets another knock on to Wicked, but we are looking at the pair from FaZe for a brief moment, pushing in behind Twisted Minds. Tanawatt pushing on in, grouping up the rest of Purple Mood in the final bunker remaining. Pentagram are eliminated with the help of a couple of different teams.
Well, Purple Mood having a solid kill game for them, but as you mentioned earlier, Cammy, and there is a desk mentioned earlier, it is tough for them to seem to find placement points.
They're close. They're close. Only a few more teams in to go out before they can start to climb those placements once again. But a grenade on Twisted Minds. This one's huge from Corexi.
Massive stuff here for FaZe if they can get in, but no, it's Tegu from Sun Sister who sits him down. Now just Jeems left in the blue trying to heal through it, but there's shots hitting him as well from afar. He's going to have to make a decision. GEX in the meantime is going to send it. Yuri gets an opener here onto Purple Mood. 2 left for them. Thunders and Boarboats underneath. They're going to molly the Entrance and just not let GEX get in unless it is with grenades.
this is bad for GEX because they need to have one person holding this exit from Purple Moon, but everyone else can just play around that ridgeline and try and deal some damage back on to Ghibli as this phase 5 closes. But they have a lot of utility, so they're going to throw it all in. Yuri finds one on the Tanawat.
Yeah, the re-knock there on the Tanawat, going to immediately follow up with the Molly, hoping to get the flush, but actually comes up short. So GEX gets a kill on a Perfectix from forever away. Somehow in the middle of all this fight, GEX has the wherewithal to third-party others. But still, the grenades rain, but they aren't really doing as much damage as you'd probably like here.
That one looks great.
Back is good from Savior.
It's mayhem everywhere on this map because the spots to play are all running out. Xenon drops from the high ground here. They're still just trying to put the final nail in the coffin for Purple Mood, as we do see Sun Sister also get eliminated.
Now the shots are starting to get in as that Molly has expired at the front door for Purple Mood. Yuri coming in, making sure that Thunders is down. Boarboats and Tanawat trying to inch their way forward, but Boarboats gets caught by a Molly. He is taken down. Tanawat able to put some damage into Yuri, but Yuri with a quick prone, able to escape death. Xenon gonna finish the job. Purple Mood out in 7th.
I said that they could just play on the ridgeline without worrying about Purple Mood. Now that Purple Mood are dead, they really don't have to worry about them, and they can just lay terror on the rest of the lobby because the ship does continue to favor them. Vegas actually gets a knock with an again, great weapons for Vegas against AZ and Petrichor Road. They can't really stop for the revive because they need to break their way through Ascend to get into phase 6. And of course, it's going to be Ghibli still on that high ground, still in that forest.
Yeah, Ghibli going to be putting tons of damage in. It's Chris on 4 health, able to get to that tree safely, I believe. Should likely be able to get that first aid going as well. But now Mill from behind takes Mika down, or Mika, and now Mill taking a bunch of damage, and it's a knock from Leo from a very long, or excuse me, Glaz and Leo combining on that from a very long distance.
It's those two teams, GEX and Ghibli, just, like I said, dealing so much damage to the rest of the lobby. Ascend are out, made it to 6th place, but unable to go any further. Petrichor Road wounded, limping. STK really wounded and limping. Twisted Minds wounded, limping. Ghibli and GEX sitting pretty. And in fact, Human is actually going for a low side rotation, a low side flank, just to continue to establish control of this zone before the high ground gets removed.
Oh, Vegas, just, I'd love to see his perspective on that shot with the AWM. Gets the headshot, good for the finish. And Vegas doing a phenomenal job salvaging points here for STK. A wide split for Ghibli. They have complete control over the southern edge. If they can get rid of Petrichor Road, the game is all but theirs, potentially. There they go, Tosi, and the follow-up is great. Tosi with a nice double, and now this is the south side of the circle completely under Ghibli's control.
Yeah, they can now take that crate and use that as a secondary point to play off of with Heaven Glass still on the east side. Now, GEX have sent their own player across the road. It's Savior pitted below that high ground, but with just the solos and Vegas and Lou remaining in this top 4, I actually don't know who to favor between the two full squads.
It's only phase 6, and there's 10 players left.
It could shift, yeah, it could shift a few different directions, but...
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Vegas, though, I mean, there's this part of me that just because Vegas has the AWM, I just want him to win. Like, that's all. That's the only part of that logic.
He's getting points. He's salvaging quite a lot for STK. They already have 5 kills, 3 of them on Vegas itself, and I think 2 of them came after the rest of his team was eliminated, so he is making this solo save really work really well. Can he go any further? We saw him get that crosshair lined up on Lou, so at the very least, a good opportunity to get 3rd.
Only had 4 bullets left in the AWM, though.
You only need 1.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. You only need 1, but there's more than 4 players alive, so he can't wipe the lobby with it. That's what I was, I was hoping for.
Okay. yeah, that is unfortunate.
Now, we wait now for phase 7 is here, but we wait to see what the teams are going to do. Ghibli, it's going to have to kind of make their way down this hill. Now, if they have vehicles up there, what a lot of Korean teams will like to do in this situation is to leave one up top and send the other 3 in the vehicle down and try to play kind of a, an anchor split. Of course, a lot of teams like to do that these days, but we'll see how Ghibli wants to do this. They don't play like most Korean teams. They're very aggressive.
That is absolutely true, and Vegas just fired another shot. Might have even tagged Human because he's down to like 20 HP, so still... he's being loud from that position, which he has to be at this point, but at what point does Ghibli just crash it? The problem is GEX are going to punish that push because they're still holding the north side, even though they're also feeding in a few members in. The cover that both those teams have been playing around is already incredibly limited. I like GEX is taking control of this wall, if you want to call it that. It barely counts, but you can prone behind it, and that'll be at least something for Ghibli. It's not a lot.
All right, well, Ghibli now beginning to make their move a little bit, trying to inch their way in, loading up the vehicles, getting ready to make some kind of strike. Will it be towards Vegas? Will they make a play for maybe the western side of the circle if they can get Vegas and Lou out and make it a 4v4 fight potentially? But Savior's position in particular is really tricky for Ghibli.
Ooh. Oh! Vegas once again landing a sick headshot. How is he getting away with this?
Oh, it's just beautiful. It's a thing of beauty from Vegas. Lou is going to take Tosi down, though. And now Gumin and others from Ghibli scrambling to try to figure out how they could recover for this. 2 more bullets in this AWM. Can Vegas make anything else happen? Yes, he can.
Stop! Please!
Unbelievable.
Vegas! Oh, no. GX just sitting pretty this entire time.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, Vegas. I'm just sad you only have 1 more bullet. He's going to use it to finish off Gumin. There was just a barrel for Vegas left. Not sure if there's going to be anything inside of that guard tower. It's a mini, in fact, that he's going to be able to pick up. It's the guard tower. There's loot in there. He got lucky with that one for sure.
Could have also been in the vehicle.
True.
Teams
I got to remember that.
Yeah. As a new addition, teams have quickly been utilizing the trunk of those, finding the crate weapon. I imagine he put his secondary in the vehicle from the very beginning of the game. Lou does get eliminated, unfortunately. It is a 4v2v1, but Vegas, despite being out of bullets, feels like as a one-man army himself. So even GEX with 4 up, fanning on out, I don't know how safe they can feel.
He's certainly ruined a couple teams' games individually, and that's what you love to see from superstar players. Now over to GEX as they begin to make their move in towards the center of the circle, locking that fence line down. Zennon is going to be hugging the edge. Heaven here trying to find any space, any angles. Not going to happen. And immediately it is Vegas with the barrel at that range is going to get the knock.
But look at GEX this entire time just pushing, just bounding ever, step by step, bit by bit towards the north end. And Ghibli are able to get the revive still, but Savior is also pushing up onto that high ground, slowly closing the door onto all these different teams. Another grenade's gonna come out.
Savior looking to try to finish Ghibli's game and then surround Vegas, see if they can take him down. They have no idea he's up here. He strikes. That's 1. That's 2. Ghibli is gone, and GEX looking to win game number 2 on the day. It's a stun out here. Vegas is in the molly, and he's just going to shoot the vehicle in front of him because he knows it's over. And it is going to be GEX with an 8-kill chicken dinner here on our first Erangel.
Nobody can kill Vegas but Vegas. It's not even about denying the points at GEX. It's about making a statement, but GEX still coming out with the win. 8 kills, 9 kills for Ghibli, so a good run for them, but STK, Vegas STK, the new addition to the roster. If he doesn't have an extended contract by now, he's got to get one.
Beautiful stuff from him. But guys, we've got some highlights. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
Game 2 is done as the GEX factor comes through, getting the chicken dinner. Savior with the double flush, and Vegas with a little help in the arm. GEX gets themselves a win.
Oh yeah, I was really looking at Ghibli here stepping up, and they got first place from this game here, but still they got shut down by Vegas, and Vegas held out so hard here. But GEX, of course, some well-needed points going their way. I talked a little about it yesterday, that they could kind of be my dark horse to potentially jump into there. Now here they get a win. If they have one more good game, they could be getting into that top 8.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to look at the leaderboard when it does come around, because it's that middle ground seems to be shifting aggressively, but you brought it up. Ghibli got a slow start. They were here in the losers bracket. In fact, yesterday, I said it again, we asked on the desk, where's Korea? What's going on with them? And I feel like they took that personally.
Yeah, no slander coming their way without them coming back and saying, you know what, we're going to show them. And now, of course, looking good here. Both Ghibli and Gen G looking fantastic. And I got to say, I'm loving what we've been seeing from Heaven so far. We saw him at the start of the day, more than 500 average damage. And now they're continuing this trend here, being super, super aggressive and strong and looking good. But yeah, I got to say, Vegas, this game here was my, there's my MVP moment there, right for him.
What happens with Vegas hurts everybody else. And I will say, we saw him utilize the vehicle. Again, another mechanic we don't talk about a lot, the change to be able to store things in the car. He put his Mini into that truck, used the arm, was able to swap it out, had lots of utility to continue to hold down that position. That's sort of the unspoken change in Pro PUBG that has been fascinating to watch. Teams sort of stashing those cars full of late game supplies.
Yeah, I mean, if he was even able to use some of those grenades there, if GX wasn't able to hold him down, he had 3 grenades extra that he could toss towards Ghibli and maybe gotten some more points. But a salvage mission for him, getting second place, getting some extra kills coming his way there, that was huge for him. I think he ended on, SDK ended on a total of 6 or 7 kills, and that means 12 or 13 points coming in with. That's a huge salvage mission for a solo player like that. So super well executed by Vegas there. Of course, the young gun, well, not so young anymore, but still young gun on the team.
Right, but he had been around forever. Vegas, a name that we remember all the way from the early days. He's been on the grind and now gets a big highlight moment. Top 4 teams of the match. GEX does take that win with 8 kills. STK with 6. And what else stands out to you on this board?
Yeah, they lost the player already. The first player they lost was 12 minutes, right? So he's been a solo for a very long time there, long travel there. And again, a special military game that ends south of main melee, right? That is obviously a huge southern game. They're going to have a lot of teams that's going to travel for a long time. A little bit of a recap here. Tosi, some more fantastic impacts here. I gotta say though, Ascent, a team that we're kind of looking on the western side, if they're able to kind of get up that hill and elevate themselves a little bit, they could have gotten even further, but they got absolutely shot down by Ghibli.
They did. Ghibli seems to be doing very good at sort of isolating their areas. Tosi in particular has been on fire here today. We do see GX was able to take this spot away from PLM and a bit of a third party, and that opened the door for them to push towards the win. But Vegas, if there's a spot that you're going to survive as a lone survivor from, it is this little guard tower just outside of Last Ditch. You have a great hiding spot. He did great work with it.
Yeah, he destroyed a few guys there, and he's denying himself, of course, making sure he can't give up 1 point there to GX. But yeah, for sure, in a lovely ending like this here, some points going GX's way. They fought on the northern side. They took some fantastic fights there, and you were cheering on Leo, of course, once they're clearing that last bunker from Purple Moose. And yeah, looking at this, 700 damage there for Leo is going to be huge for you. Probably, of course, also going to be man of the match because we have to have the winning team have the man of the match.
That's true. I will say, when I put Leo on the team, I was hoping for big moments like this to finally come through. He did it. The 700 damage is great. Now, a lot of that, though, is because he was playing that anchor. When they crashed PLM, he kept the distance. Was able to do a lot of tag damage, so he's going to walk away with that MVP. And this is going to be a confidence booster. This team came into today in 13th. Didn't have the best first match, so this is going to let them grind up just a little bit. And again, I think it's going to be very tight around that 8th place spot.
It's going to be super tight, and especially with the teams that are kind of, you know, we were talking about it, the 3 kind of spots having open, but then Gen G comes in, there are mid-pack, top mid-pack, and they got so many points. I feel like it's only maybe 1 or 2 spots that could be up for grabs for the end of the day. So let's see how it ends up. 60-65 points is going to be likely be the cutoff mark here, but Twisted Mind still dominating the team summaries here.
As we're going to see Ghibli going up there. STK does manage to get up in total kills to just ahead of FaZe on the back of that performance from Vegas, but Gen G still representing themselves here. LG on a bit of a slide, but I think it's one of those things. Once these teams feel like they've qualified, they only need 2 or 3 points. They're not as worried about it. They're making some more aggressive plays. Let's take a look at the match leaderboard. GEX does walk away with 18 total points off the back of that game. And SDK, they came in 7th today, no, I'm sorry, 4th, and they have been sliding down the board in the first game. This is going to be a big deal for getting them solidified, I think, to make it the move to the grand finals.
Yeah, this is going to put them on the 60-plus point mark. And again, we're talking about this 65-ish plus minus cutoff point, right? So with 4 more games to go, this is going to be the game that have basically qualified them to grand final.
Absolutely. Ascend getting 2 points off of that one, only 4 points total in the game. When we take a look at the overall, the overall leaderboard right now, we're going to see exactly where they are, 10th place. So 17 at 48 at 7th place. We got GEX in 8th. After a win, they're still, at least they're in the fight now, and that's important.
That's what really opens the door for them. But this is what I'm saying, right? You kind of have 2, maybe 3 spots if FaZe completely falls off here at the face of the earth. 2 spots that's open right now, 48, 43, 5 points different, and then it falls down. If Petrica Road tied, of course, on 43, 5 points again, and then it has to be a big game for Ascend. New Happy, Third Eye, to even have a chance. Even Pentagram could have a big game, and they could actually jump into the top 8 from that.
But it's doable. I mean,
top 5, top 6, looking very good here.
I would say GX had an average win there. They picked up their 13, 14 points. So anybody who's sort of down to almost 15th place, off the back of a good game here on this one, still gets in the mix. But the time to make that happen is running low as we are getting ready to transition over. Exactly, 4 more games. There's no more hoping for circles at this point, right?
You have to, obviously, we have to work for it.
Yes.
You have to get salvage those games that you're not going to win. You're going to have to turn around and say, all right, we're not going to get into the circle. We have to try to steal some kills, try to steal some knocks, get those 3, 4 extra points from the games that you're not going to get 10+ points in.
Absolutely. Well, we are going to take just a moment so our teams can get their head in the right space and figure out how they use the last 4 games to their advantage. This is PGS 1, co-hosted by Crafton and VSPO, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with match number 3.
Now we can be in the game to play PUBG ourselves.
我们设计了我们脑海中一直想要很炫酷的皮肤。
兄弟们，现在登录游戏就能看到我们精心设计的皮肤了。
If I encountered a player wearing our skins in game, I would feel like proud to see that.
PUBG e스포츠가 오랫동안 고민해왔던 지점 중에 하나가 팀들에게 실질적인 혜택과 더불어서 동반 성장하는 모델을 만들고자 하는 것이었습니다. 그러한 맥락에서 글로벌 파트너 팀 프로젝트를 시작하게 되었습니다. 그 시작으로 GPT 스킨을 제작을 하게 되었습니다. 이번 스킨은 팀에서 원화를 직접 제작을 해주셨는데요. 그 퀄리티가 정말 예상보다 훨씬 좋아서 깜짝 놀랐습니다. 팬분들께도 응원하는 팀에서 직접 제작을 해주셨기 때문에 더욱더 의미가 클 것이라 생각이 되는데요. 자신이 응원하는 팀에 대해서 오랫동안 응원해온 보람이 있구나 느끼실 수 있는 계기가 될 수 있을 것 같습니다.
I have imagined what it would feel like to have skins representing our team. It would be like we are actually in the battlegrounds ourselves in the game. Now we can be in the game to play PUBG ourselves.
We designed the skins in the way we've always imagined, wanted, and thought that would be cool. I hope our fans really love the skins. I think they look really cool, so I think the fans will enjoy them as well.
Well, the big challenge is to create something that represents the brand and it has to look cool so the fan has the desire for it. So you need to find the right elements and colors with meaning.
I'm thrilled that GPT skins will help our fans be united with our team. It's always exciting because you only create these things in the digital world, and it's a great joy to see our fans who will win in our skin.
希望这些皮肤能代表我们17战队，并向大家展示我们战队的文化和精神含义，这样才能确保皮肤能够被广大玩家喜爱和接受。
对我来说挺激动的，能在 PUBG 里看到代表我们17战队的皮肤视频，这个过程让我想要拿出更好、更有说服力的表现，来更好的在电竞领域定位我自己和队伍。
就对于选手来说，在游戏里就拥有自己的那种专属道具啊，或者皮肤，就是非常有意义的一件事。然后希望以后这种合作也能够越来越多吧。
I believe there will be more opportunities communicating with our fans, expanding the global partner team program.
안녕하세요. 저는 PCC 캐릭터 팀의 이준호입니다. 캐릭터가 입는 의상, 총기, 그리고 탈 것들을 제작하고 있습니다. 팀별로 그런 색깔이나 특성이 있는 디자인이라고 생각했고 일반 옷으로 생각해도 굉장히 멋스러운 디자인이라고 생각했습니다. 팬들이 보았을 때 가장 중요하다고 생각되는 부분들, 그런 부분에 중점을 둬 작업을 했고요. 팬분들이나 이제 유저분들이 보았을 때 우리 팀의 이 유니폼을 입고 실제로 경기를 할 수 있겠구나 하면서 약간 그런 것들에 대한 만족을 위해서 생각을 하면서 작업을 했습니다.
And I want to thank every fan for your support. It means a lot for us.
I cannot imagine the world without fans.
期待一下我们这款皮肤吧。
所以说，你们的支持对于我们非常重要，也希望大家多多支持17战队，谢谢大家。
We all know how dangerous that can be. The shot does come out, though, and that's going to be a warning. But Spyro, he delayed his drop, able to get the knock, fully run away from that, down to such low HP. But this is a moment to perhaps finish that kill, especially with the frag grenade in hand.
1 HP to work with, and what a survival. I love the fact that it sits in the window because the shotgun comes through the chest, but the nade finds the second as well, too. He goes down. With full control of the hillside up above. Shooting over the top, finds the first one. That is Pushil's down.
Yeah, Tiggleton and company. Oh my God!
Engagement might be overwhelmed, but AZ with the underhand grenade, this one could be good.
Oh, he gets the knock, and now he's going to push out and get another. Looking for the third, looking for the finish. The 1v3 on Adanawa. Salute is hurt, but he is prone. He's going to throw a molly right on top of Salute. This may be the end. Salute is burning, but I think he got a first aid off just in time. Has to wrap to the outside, but no, the molly was good enough. What a play from AZ.
It's not perfect. They're getting knocks against them, but they are making it work time and time again. But Apocalypse with a very, very good return knock on Kurt.
Nice double headshot coming through, gets the flush instantly as well. Molly should take out Rune. We'll see if the man can do anything. No, Halo able to find the first. Apocalypse not in the position to cover him at all. Vegas now spots the second down to have HP. They know the connection was there. Push forward, aggress forward, get the final kill down. Slow HP, no!
Halo as well, so they are not down just yet, but oh, Halo is found.
Exactly, man. The team's aware of exactly what's going on here. Apocalypse crawls for input. Let's go for the flush. Yes, he does. Again, first game of the series. It's only 12 matches total. You want to optimize the amount of points you can get here. Penta, Nate locked on out, doesn't find the first man, able to stay alive. Penta, though, taking down Peaks the second time around. Apocalypse hits him.
Keep seeing them cheekily pop up in some of these final moments, so not too bad to be able to get yourself a few points. There is a world where they make grand finals, and quite honestly, I'm going to be truly frank with you here. Me, Benja, Toby, how? Well, they won PEC, fantastic. However, how are they going to do on land? We have a...
And welcome back to PGS 1 here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Paper Thin still with you, but joining me now is the main man, Toby. And we are through 2 games. And of course, we are getting towards those grand finals. And as we all know now, if you tune into the grand finals, you can get yourself some skins, some of our GPT teams. Let's go, baby.
And they're pretty cool, too.
That's right. They're really good.
They are really nice.
And
had to get them.
I know. Yeah, I had to get them too. Not gonna lie. I'm a big fan. I'm a hashtag big fan. Of course, we get the 4 now, then the 4 later on in the year. So very excited about all of that. And of course, very excited about our next couple of games. It will be Miramar that we will be finding ourselves up with next.
Now, I am glad that last Miramar game we went east, but didn't go straight down towards Junkyard, where we've been a million times already. We sticked up towards the north. Gen G had a couple of ships going their way, but they took full advantage of what they were given. Something we haven't really seen from Gen G, even when things went kind of in their favor. They kind of stumbled at the finish line here. They brought it home. Curious to see if they can go back into that same thrive on Miramar that they had in game 1 of the day.
That was the most PO game I've seen in quite some time. It was everything you want from that player. It is his style, it is his game, and he played it to perfection.
Sure did. Phenomenal game for Gen G. First time around here on Miramar today as we hop on into Miramar once more. 4 games to go, and we will know not only which 8 teams are going to join the winners bracket teams in the grand finals, but arguably more importantly, which 8 will be eliminated.
All right, let's get things underway here at PGS 1, Game 3. And we are absolutely, like you just mentioned, starting to find out which teams still have a shot, which don't, which need to put up some numbers. Everything's still fairly tight at the middle of that leaderboard, but now you can start looking at some of the teams who are basically, can dust their hands off. We've kind of done it. We'll keep our eyes on them just to see how they play, kind of if they're going to try to keep that momentum going into the grand finals.
And also that's one of the worrying things for the teams that haven't punched their ticket yet, right? Because one thing is that you have some pretty good teams up there who can now play more loose, but if one of those teams are teams you've been fighting throughout the tournament so far, you can be pretty sure that they might be coming for you. So for a team like Twisted Minds, are they now actively going to chase down Petrichor just to make sure that they don't make grand finals? We will have to wait and see to find out. Of course not.
Yeah. All right, well, this is kind of interesting because we could end up with a very similar circle to our first Miramar on the day, but we'll see if it does want to do that. I think Shoot to Kill is feeling very comfortable now after that stellar performance from Vegas.
I mean, that was phenomenal. You love to see a person with an arm, first of all. You love to see a person with an arm also getting a chance to make some highlight plays. I feel like every time someone has the arm, we just see it in the kill feed, not actually getting the shots in. But Vegas, thank you for plenty of clips for us with the green machine there.
You know what's so funny about it is we saw him coming down the stairs after the game, and he just nonchalant as could be. And I'm just like, you just had like some super sick shots. Like, oh, did you guys see that?
Pretty decent. No, I do that every now and again. Pretty good.
He's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's almost as if he's in a tournament with the best players in the world. Pretty decent. Circle, out towards the east we go. We've been here plenty of times in this tournament thus far. It's a little further east first time around than what we would have expected, I'd say, but still, I'm looking at Junkyard now. I'm seeing Ghibli set in there. I'm seeing Ghibli currently set up in and around first place overall. I could imagine them having a pretty good game in this one.
Well, if you can see the map right now, like this circle could end right by Glass. Maybe like a little bit more south, but somewhere in that vicinity is where these like to go because a lot of that area around El Azahar is land ratioed. This is more likely to start coming south than not.
Yep, exactly. We have seen many finishes in the Junkyard area. This one going there would be no surprise to anyone, I think. And it's also going to be one of those things that the teams, of course, are going to keep in mind, because it's not just us viewers, spectators, and everyone else out there who are aware of this. The players are well aware, if not more aware, of these things than us. So expect to see, despite the fact that there's plenty of space available on the map, excluding the water, of course.
How dare you?
Why don't we use the water? I'm not going to segue into that. You can't bait me this time around, baby.
All right.
But expect to see, despite the fact that there's plenty of land available, that teams will opt to play very few positions. You will see patches of land that are going to be, even though you could argue, well, that's a pretty good compound, it's pretty decent. Well, there's also just a very, very small chance that the game goes there. So teams just won't, even though it's free.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the way you got to think about this game at this level.
Yeah.
So that is very well said. Now, of course, we know that this is not a hot drop. This is a Twisted Minds controlled territory.
Love to see it. Again, I am curious to see here in the last couple of games, because right now Petrichor is a team on the cusp. Sat down in and around that 8th place, and obviously Twisted Minds is aware of this, and they're aware of where they loot as well. I would hope to see, at least if they see them in the kill feed, not that they should just instantly drive to Hacienda every game, but if they see them in the kill feed and kind of figure, okay, they're up against these guys, they must be over here, that they actually go out and try and have an impact on those fights themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that our observers are giving us a quick glimpse of Lou there because he is way out ahead of the rest of Twisted Minds. And let's take a look at a replay here from the previous game. Oh, this is, no, the previous Miramar, excuse me. This is the drive up here on the LG. And this is where 17 kind of solidified a very high kill game. That was nuts from Suju.
Boom.
Just nuts.
Then we get the Vegas shot in there as well. Absolutely
insane.
So
good. Oh
Gets
my
two
God.
out of vehicles, finds the third behind the tree. I was saying to Ghibli, like just to myself, to Ghibli, why do you keep peeking this man? He is fighting you all the time. Just stay behind that tree. No need for you to do anything. Just hide. Because he was on one in the previous game. And as you said, Paper, very nonchalant about his performance. Oh yeah, it was pretty decent. Pretty good.
He was just like, oh, you saw that? Like, that was his reaction. I was just like, yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, of course we did.
Stupid idiot.
Well, okay.
I'm just joking.
Okay, I know.
I love him.
I know you are.
He's a great guy. He's so fun to talk to. LG, it basically, you know, pretty much fine in terms of their position and their points. So now, just trying to, you know, these are the opportunities where you have to work on some things like some team fighting, some micro things more than macro necessarily, because this is your last chance before the grand finals outside of scrims.
It really is. If you're a Miramar game, you have this one and one more to go. That is going to be it for the losers bracket. So 2 chances here to claim as many points in the desert as you possibly can. Now, if we were to kind of compare the early stages of this game to what we saw in the previous one, I like how teams are rotating in, but one thing that surprised me by the end of the previous game was how few teams racked up that many points. Because it wasn't necessarily the teams in the best position, of course. Gen G, plenty of space to maneuver up towards the north. But usually when we have these open area endings, it's just kind of kills are pretty scattered across all the teams. But here, we had, as you said, 17 plenty kills. Gen G able to rack up a ton as well. Not usually how we see things go down in this area of the map.
And Ghibli, too.
Ghibli was up double digits as well, almost.
Ghibli was putting up a ton of damage. Spyro here, putting some parting shots into Purple Mood, but I think they're okay.
Yeah.
Able to get on the other side of the hill and should be a-okay from suffering much further damage.
I mean, yeah, they do have, as you can see in the distance there, some Twisted Minds players up on the Minas Mountain proper, but with Floki now getting in behind there and only a 4x to work with for Lou as well, it ain't exactly optimal distance to try and take this fight. As I say that though, shots are being fired, forcing these players off of the hillside. Oh, okay. Both shots connected. One from Thunders, one from Lou, but not too much more will come off it.
Yeah, splashing into the extremities there of Lou, so no significant damage done. Petrichor Road sitting to the southwest of El Azahar. Right now, they are almost the most north team that is currently in the circle.
Yeah.
FaZe is the only one a little bit further north. New Happy doing what they do best, wrapping in on the south. Playing for the edge, playing on the outside of these mountains, which are relatively uncontested until you get to Savior, who's kind of trailing up ahead as GE left Impala.
We've seen GEX wanting to play this kind of intersection area northeast of Impala before. They dealt with Chiamba last time they were up here. I hope for New Happy's sake that they are aware that GEX likes this area, because New Happy right now, I mean, sat in 11th, 38 points. Sure, they're close to 8th, but they need to have some pretty good games back-to-back in order to solidify their spot. We're talking around that 70 points. That's when you know, or should know at least, we're probably going to be in the top 8. And right now, well, for New Happy, we're way over halfway there, but they're only halfway to 70.
Yep. And I think if you're sitting at 60 right now, you got to feel pretty comfortable that you
definitely
squeak out that many
10
more
points. 4 games, doable.
Yeah, very doable. FaZe, as we mentioned, up north, but they're kind of on the edge of the road.
Chill.
Going towards the beach. James is way out.
It's going for a boat, just in case.
Well,
you never know. You never know with these circles, Paper.
You know, I was just going to say, I noticed that one of the crates dropped on one of the islands.
It is a magnet.
It is the magnet.
Yep.
But I think maybe, you know, James is just getting information, watching for teams that might come up from the backside of FaZe along that coastal area. So I think that's a smart idea here from FaZe.
For those of you guys who don't know where James is, he's in that one spot where you normally spawn that you never go back to.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You can spawn there.
Yeah, exactly. In the meantime, SDK, I'm liking their setup here, trying to hold out. Ascent issue is they 9 billion IQ that one, and they're wrapping up towards Los Leones. So we'll see how long SDK are eager or willing to tank blue damage before they realize that, you know what, Ascent probably ain't coming this way.
Yeah, they are being very cautious about this one, is SDK. Just probably crossing their T's, dotting their I's, making sure that they are fully prepared to, you know, not make enough mistakes that they find themselves in a dangerous position as the day rolls on in terms of the points, in terms of getting into that grand finals.
Yeah. In the meantime, Spiro alongside the rest of Twisted Minds heard Thunders run around down below. They're waiting for that 3P. And Thunders stood with the SKS in hand, has absolutely no clue. There's almost an entire team set just a couple of meters up above here. So as soon as he puts himself in a vulnerable position, you can be pretty sure that Spiro is going to start shooting at him.
Yeah, you can
Not even going for Thanawat in the open there, because they want that kill first.
Yep. Thanawat's getting shot by somebody else.
That's up on the mountain. That's Lou, set way up on the mountain. They knew he was there early, so like they're playing with that in mind, but I don't think even with those shots being fired, that they're expecting the rest of them to be that close.
Certainly. We'll see. Sun Sister has one player pretty close to Ghibli, 2 of them at least, that I don't expect to kick off, I would think, unless somehow Ghibli gives an open angle to Sun Sister where they can maybe go for the knock.
I am a little curious with this next shift coming up in 20 seconds, how much water we're going to include. As I said before, as we have said before, usually these circles do end up either up towards Lazada or Junkyard or west out towards La Bandita. So should we, maybe for once, go east? We'll see what's going to happen there. Thunders, again, did he just realize now there's a team above him? Literally an entire firing squad is set on the hills just above.
Oh, they're just waiting. They didn't find the angle. They didn't, if they can get 2 guns onto him, now they're going to let it go. And yeah, like you said, Twisted Minds was just super patient, and they want that point. They're going to find it. The circle is going to drift down towards the south here of El Azahar, centering around that junkyard-ish area.
Good timing for them to get that kill too. Now they're forcing Purple Moon to wrap further in, and they themselves can now stay in the high ground position, scout further towards the east, maybe claim some terrain off of it. Spiro actually already in the car. Same thing here for New Happy down towards the south.
All right, New Happy on the roll. Little bit of LG ahead, trailing his third eye behind them, 17 on their right, Purple Mood on their left. But for now, New Happy has quite a bit of space to work with. Ghibli's pretty well... you can see it now on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Ghibli just kind of completely barricaded inside this saloon. They New Happy?
They don't go there without checking, right?
No way.
I just had to make sure. One thing is they don't go to the free compound, but then again, no one is expecting what they call jungle compound to be free at this point, so didn't even stop to scout it. Now, in the meantime, over towards the east we go as Petrichor find themselves in a fight against Sun Sister, a team who usually I wouldn't expect to come out victorious, but they've already found 2.
Yeah, well, Fevin has to back off as there's some crossfires getting knocked. New Happy, oh my god, Ghibli pushes out. That's a huge double from Tosi. Ming Ming and HS already down. The grenades are out. New Happy is completely cornered. The grenades are raining in. Zebion, the only one left here. Duming, more grenades. Glass up front and close, but Zebion able to just barely hang on. Surely not for much longer. Ghibli wipes them out.
What a play. What an active play from Ghibli. They sat in the compound, they heard the vehicles come close, but they never saw them peek over. They go, well, if they ain't gonna peek, we might as well just push up and throw some nades in there. Because again, while the dips are great for cover, they also tend to be funnels for nades coming their way. And well, New Happy, they felt all the hurt of those grenades there.
That's devastating for New Happy.
It is.
Sitting in 10th place right now on the leaderboards. They need points so badly. And Ghibli now rises to the top. They are in first place currently here in the losers bracket. Kong watching Taemin, doing some good shooting there. I think Taemin wisely is like, yeah, maybe this ain't it.
Pio very close on this one, wanting to go super aggressive, just doing Pio things, but he's parked in the middle of the open with no cover. Good thing for him is that DG98 is now covering his back because he's sat in a vehicle and getting shot from behind as well. A little too eager, maybe, on that one.
I was gonna say, let's see how good Pio's reverse driving is. DG continuing to put the pressure onto Empty, but Hikerman split out far away from the rest of XO. Kong did get knocked by Foxy off screen. Pio driving in that general direction, maybe trying to put 2 here to put some pressure on XO.
I think he can. The fact that he's going aggressive with half HP to get that flush, knowing that MT is around this area now, Akita finds one as well. Ooh, that nade, is it gonna go far enough? Just bounces off to the left-hand side. Pio is going so aggressive despite his low HP, and once again, it's DG98 covering his butt.
Yeah, the good thing here is right now, they've got a safe res on a Taemin. Akita's too far away to do anything about this. Taemin behind the hill and safe. So now Pio can put some pressure in, even though it's phase 2, plenty of time to make that res.
Sure is. Mika from Ascent, wrapping on over towards this north side of Impala issuers. Well, at least now he's aware. There's an entire team set inside this factory position.
Yeah, Mika, not much you can do, and Circle there, gonna go right on top of the junkyard.
Who could have predicted that one?
Who could have thought? Not like we said that this wasn't gonna be. Glaz, by the way, has barely moved this game.
True.
He has probably moved about 200 meters total. And it was all in that reach out towards New Happy.
Ain't nobody going to be complaining about not having to go anywhere, that's for sure, especially in a tournament like this. And for Kipling, I mean, already qualified. Luminosity set in Junkyard, pretty much already qualified. It's the teams that are in need of points that need to come out here and make plays themselves.
Yeah, now you got to be thinking about those edge kills. Third Eye, one of those teams that need those kills, but it's Twisted Minds on top of them in the God compound, making sure that at the very least the tires are popped. Some grenades hit Lou, but not significantly. And Third Eye, so far, no critical damage done.
Not yet, no. Richie trying to back off a bit, trying to find a better angle. In the meantime, FaZe and opting to try and rotate over the western side. This is a weird circle because all the teams that are now coming in from the southern side here have had literally no chance to scout what's going on up towards the north. Now, FaZe did wrap around, so they know that GX is around. But are they aware that Xavier sat just over on the other side here?
Xavier just getting all the info he can, but Leo gets caught. Xavier there not able to accurately communicate, or Leo just maybe didn't really respect FaZe's angle and bush. He takes a grenade as he is knocked down to half in the knock status. FaZe, though, not really comfortable to try to push this.
Yeah, it's a weird angle to try and approach. They haven't had a chance to properly scout what's down below. That's an entire split 17 gaming, so I respect FaZe not being too eager to make the aggressive play here. Again, once you peek on over, you're essentially exposing yourself to the entire team setup above. So smart play, peek on over, find the first one, fall back down again.
Kill did get stolen, though. I believe it was Inmahawk from Sun Sister. Adam is going to take down Brexco. Kilyakai trying to wrap in behind Third Eye here, but he is very late to that party. Xavier Correxy knocked on opposite sides of this fight backs. Ooh, if he had found that spray just a heartbeat sooner, but he's able to put the pressure on to Yuri, but Yuri stands up and sits him down in fight two. Unbelievable from Yuri.
4 HP, able to find the double. That is absolutely huge. Let's see now if Gustav can make his way over here. 3 knocked FaZe Clan players. Yuri is calling for assistance as he knows pretty much the entire team is already down.
GEX needs points so badly. Just Gustav on his feet for FaZe, trying to find some space, trying to find a potential res, a flush onto Fex. Now Gustav has to pull off that res as he hears the footsteps encroaching. Gustav going to be spotted by Yuri, but not Yuri this time, not quick enough on the draw. Gustav is better. Zennon trying to finish the job, but it's Gustav who saves FaZe's round.
What a recovery. What a huge play coming through from Gustav here. But also credit where credit's due to Yuri for finding the double with just 4 HP, initiating that fight.
Foxy all on his own out here. Pio was trying to potentially help DG98.
Yeah.
Things have gone sideways for Gen G, who seem to have XO fairly well handled.
I mean, I like to think that we've seen a very passive Gen G throughout the tournament so far, where things didn't go their way. Now we're seeing like immensely over-aggressive Gen G, which also is not going their way, but at least this time around, they're kind of already through to the grand finals, so they can be a little more careless. And honestly, if them being then by kind of finding the midway coming into the grand finals, we started out too passive, now we're too aggressive. Let's stay too aggressive so that we can slow it down a bit for grand finals and play our actual style, then I'm all for it. Because again, they are pretty much already through.
I was thinking something very similar here. As PWS fans, you know, as Gen G fans, you got to be hoping that Gen G is just saving their best for last.
Exactly.
DG did get rezzed by PO. Foxy trying to scoot his way around the fence line to potentially get rezzed himself. Third Eye overview onto Purple Mood. Some trees in the way, as Purple Mood also has a hillside for cover. Curious to see what they want to do. Gustav, the man himself, who just absolutely went nuts. They're going to lose Correxy, though. But still, FaZe just needs, you know, a couple points per game, and they're good to go. Tosi watches him for a moment, but it's not going to be too dangerous just yet for Gustav.
Yeah.
Oh, unless he drives a killy guy.
I was going to say a couple of dips available, but you got to pick them wisely because there are players in this area. In the meantime, now, Purple Mood making their way forward, actually straight in the direction of Gustav over on the other side of the hill. Let's see. Is it going to be Killikai? Is it going to be Gustav that gets company? It seems to me like it's going to be Killikai. Nade set up early, locked on over. We'll see if he gets anything. Finds the first, finds the second. No, not going to happen. As Floki falls, Thanawat is there to help him out.
Yeah, that grenade was just a bit off the mark. He threw it left, they went right. Now Gustav going to come in. He wants wants points and he wants them now. The mollies are there. They're trying to find that knocked player, but it's not going to happen. Borboats, good defense.
Borboats finds him, but 3 tags came through from Luminosity on that northern side. So a little bit of help coming through now in the meantime. Exo will fall to the hands of Lou up above. Good for Pio that he gets the info that there's an entire team now set on his northwest side.
Yeah, Pio going to start going for heals. Twisted Minds, Spyro going to be the only one who's thinking about drifting in that direction, maybe set up Lou for the cross. I think they're just trying to trap Pio, end his round, and it's going to be successful. Batoons from the high ground is going to take Gen G out.
I mean, this is one of the positions where Twisted Minds play perfectly into their, I would call it natural habitat. Edge, full control, high ground control as well. Don't have to hurry. They can sit. They can pick the fights that they want to. They can just, I mean, really shoot at a distance without any risk involved for themselves. Expect to see Twisted Minds rag up quite a few kills this game.
Absolutely. Ghibli did lose Glaz, but still 5 kills, and that's fine. The rest of this game is just gravy for Ghibli. They really don't need much else. Twisted Minds here, 2-2 split. Like you were talking about, taking that wide edge control, but the circle continues to center towards Junkyard. Mill still alive for Petrichor Road, dead center. 17 needs points. Oh, so badly.
Yep, they sure do. They don't have the circle yet either. They heard all the commotion with Purple Mood over on the other side. So they know at least there's one spot that if you can find a proper nade, could potentially be points coming our way. But I think for now, they're sat here waiting for a fight to pop off, maybe for a rotation to come through that they can then pull up in third party on. If anyone takes the fight to Luminosity, if anyone takes the fight to Purple Mood, maybe there's a chance for them to third party something. But for now, Pentagram not opting to go far enough. 17 will have to make the fight happen themselves.
They're still going. I thought they might pull up at the hill at the edge, but they're going to keep on rolling through, trying to get towards Purple Mood. They're going to get shot. Now they're just driving towards Luminosity. This is dangerous here for Pentagram. Oh, they're able to find some space. Mill, oh, he's the single. One does get knocked 2 here from Luminosity onto Pentagram. A grenade onto a COD as well. And Pentagram went for the center. They've lost 2 for sure, maybe a third soon to follow.
I was just going to say, I mean, it looked really, really good for a while. Nice scouting on the fly, kind of pulling up on this compound. But then Luminosity, once they got into their crosshairs, 2 of them fall instantly. A cat might be able to get rest here, unless if Mill has something to say about it with that nade. Nope, bounces foul.
If that had gotten in the door, I would have been very, very impressed. But I think he figured it out.
That one did.
The grenade is good. Adder doesn't die, but Akkad not able to be rezzed after Adder heard that grenade sound. There's enough room here in this cubby to hide in the corner, and Adder should be able to get his heal off. Now, Adder, we saw some heroics from him yesterday. Can he finish the job? Never mind. Just Snickers is going to end my thought. Thanks. Thanks,
Sometimes
Snickers.
it be like that. If you take too long to hype up something about to happen, you know a player will just go, nah. Let's just cut that sentence short, shall we? Yep, we got him. 17, again, haven't really fully committed to any decisions just yet. They know that Third Eye has to leave the compound. They saw them there before. Maybe waiting for a situation to follow up on that one. But nope, not going to happen. Crossing the roads early is what they do, but they didn't do so before they saw and heard Ghibli push north. So smart, passive play from 17 allows them in to at least the very edge of the next circle.
And you gotta be considering here that Purple Mood probably doesn't have a ton of throwables left.
They shouldn't.
Absolutely. And so this is a pretty smart maneuver here from 17. They can pick on a weaker opponent. They've got them pretty well pinned down. They've got a lot of frags themselves, and I can already see them in hand. Oldless is getting snuck up on by Lou. Lou getting close to the crest, and Oldless may not be long for this lobby. Indeed, well handled here by Lou. Goes for the second, can't quite get the spray under control. Meanwhile, 17 on the backside is doing the dirty to Purple Mood.
And this is exactly what I was talking about when I said the Twisted Minds like playing the edge, like to sweep around. They were sat on the hard northern side. Right now, they're one of the most southern teams in this circle. Such smart play style from Twisted Minds to wrap further down on the southern side and now forcing Third Eye out in the other direction. Issue is they're going straight over towards 17, who just finished a fight of their own. So we'll see if they're able to make that cross or not.
Still Junkyard for the circle as we go to phase 6. Vox, Richie B, and Adam need to get out of Dodge. There's just too much pressure, and unfortunately, you go from one bad situation to potentially worse almost no matter where you go.
Car on fire, Vox has to get out of it. Makes the play in the open field, but that's headshots coming in from the other side again. The entire western side fully controlled by Twisted Minds.
Now this feels like 2022 PUBG. 17 playing well, Twisted Minds controlling space. This is feeling like last year a bit more.
Yeah. Sure is. 17 playing well. Welcome back. It took a while, but we'll see if they can keep it going in this game. They have edge control now, but they need to take the fight to our current first place team in Ghibli.
Yeah, and there's going to be a little bit of extra stuff floating around. Probably not a ton of throwables like we mentioned, but maybe some extra ammo, maybe some extra meds, those kind of things. Kickstart going to go out and find himself a crate.
Why not?
What does he get? Level 3 gear and something he didn't like, maybe? Unless it was Zagroza behind there? No, yeah, just level 3
Must have been
gear.
something, 762 something.
Something.
Yeah, sure must have been. Heaven in the meantime peeks on over, finds the first one. Kuma does have a nade in hand, and if it's placed right, might just be able to find one with it. Nope, goes a bit short. Heaven tries to make the cross on over, but that's where I was gonna say third eye, but no, it's Rello from up north finds the kill.
Yeah, I mean, the problem here now for Ghibli is if these grenades weren't able to connect, they're under a firing squad from other angles. So now they're going to try to come through. And here's Kickstart. Well, he's just going to do the dirty work for him. That's 2 down onto 17. Xiaobei and Lil Coast scrambling to recover. Perfectic's going to clean out Mill on the other end. Somehow Xiaobei dives underneath the exploding car. Still alive, but 17 under a ton of pressure.
I mean, right now, this game is just Luminosity and Twisted Minds playing around with the rest of the server. They're doing exactly what they want. Kickstart is solo pressuring three teams down towards the south with absolutely no fear in his life, and he's getting away with it as easy as can be, because he knows that behind him he has Rello, he has other players. Sat there, ready to help out. Little goes now, falls to the molly. Kickstart effectively is taking out 17 all on his own.
Yeah, Kickstart here just a phenomenal maneuver to get that level 3 gear, and then just to wreck other teams' day. Human gonna come in.
Through already, but of course, if this is going to be kind of a what are we in for the grand finals, bragging rights, and also just coming off of a good end game with your team, is something both teams would want. I had a short chat with Trevor earlier today. Of course, proud of the team that he's part of in Luminosity, but says the one thing that can go against them is when I have a couple of bad games in a row, the bouncing back can be hard. And even when they have good games, they can still not be satisfied because it could have been even better. So for a guy like Kickstart, who is always playing, they're already through to the grand finals.
Yeah, one of the hardest workers, a perfectionist for sure, is Kickstart. There is never good enough for him, no matter how amazing the games may seem. And he's put up plenty of amazing ones so far here at PGS 1. And, well, to me, my eye is really on Richie B here. Just, can he get any more points out of this?
My short answer, no. He has to come off this hillside. He has to get into the circle. I think what's happening right now is both Twisted Minds and Luminosity are sitting around waiting for the next circle to pop. As I say that, though, both Rello and Kickstart are on foot, pushing down in the direction of the compound that Twisted Minds are currently sat in. Richie, well, being a bit of a nuisance to Flood, so he will have to focus him at least for a short while. But again, he's still not inside the circle. Now he's here with one tire on his bike. I don't think he's going to have that much of an impact on the outcome of this game.
Yeah, I mean, how does he get to that hillside by that tree? I don't know, because that's about the only place he can get to that has any semblance of safety.
Yeah.
It's just doors being broken, angles being exposed. The rest of LG now able to regroup, able to swing around the outside of Twisted Minds, finding some good ways through. Flood finds the knock onto Lou. Richie B trying to strike Flood, but nope, Flood's having none of it.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Everyone now, waiting for the next circle to pop. Luminosity could just full speed crash. You didn't know, and they're in a 4v2. But respecting Twisted Minds. And maybe this is them sitting and saying, come on, come play with us. We're out here. Come peek, we're ready for it. But Twisted Minds, they're just waiting for that circle to shift south.
Maybe we get the old... Let's bring out the pans and see how this goes.
You know what? Considering they're both sat there, second and third, I would not be against it. Throw your weapons down. We need to have another game where you can take out the knife and swing it into the wall so it goes clink, clink.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's like the invite for you to come out and fight it in the open.
You know what they do in Korea is they make the dut 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 with their gun.
What it is.
That's how they signal they want to.
If I took off my headset now and just ran up to one booth, you go to the other, and just pan fight, guys, go, go.
Right.
I wouldn't be against it. In this particular case, as much as I'm all for hardcore competitive integrity and everything, always play to the best of your ability, it would be kind of entertaining.
I haven't had a pan fight in a while. That's all I'm saying. I haven't had one of those in some time, but that's okay. Certainly, again, things to work on for all these teams and players at this point. So if they want to finish it out, they absolutely should, and nobody should have a problem with it.
And to be quite honest, Luminosity bottomed out winners bracket. Twisted Minds have not exactly looked good while they were hot dropping either. So for both these teams, again, getting reps in, reminding yourself that you're actually a pretty damn decent team. If that's what a win can do for you here, I think they'll be very, very happy with it. Circle does shift away from the compound. Twisted Minds will have to make the run. We'll see how Luminosity wins this game, because I don't see Twisted Minds coming out victorious here.
Rello trying to keep Perfectix from going out that window, and he does, at least for now, with the mollies and the shots. Lou here just praying that these grenades find some targets, and they do not. They are in the middle of Luminosity's formation. Twisted Minds, this is what they had to do. Just throw everything in the kitchen sink down at this, but with Flood up on the angle, Snakers up there as well, this is near impossible.
The one thing, and it's happening right here, is if they can find Flood, because all of Luminosity right now is set four-way split. If one falls, there should be no rest coming through. All the smokes they just threw have already vanished, so Luminosity did exactly what they have to. They have the smokes, but we cannot allow them into them, and now the blue is pushing as well. Do they deny? Pan comes out from Lou, but it's a little too late for the pan fight, Lou. You should have asked for it earlier.
Yeah, this is all but over now for TM. They're going to try to fight through it. Why not? But it is going to be LG. Luminosity Gaming takes another game here at PGS 1 Losers Finals, and they're in. There's no question about it.
No question whatsoever. They seem happy. I see some smiles. Again, bread and butter. Circles came to them. They sat in Junkyard for a while. But we've seen it before. Just because you get the compounds, just because you get the circles, don't mean you necessarily get the wins.
Exactly. All right, guys, we're going to watch some highlights, and we'll be back with the desk in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. PGS 1 continues on.
An illuminating game as Luminosity Gaming comes out with a win. They started on Junkyard, they ended on Junkyard. 11 kills in the bank, and a heck of a match for Kickstart.
Yeah, and it wasn't a match if it wasn't for Kick dropping off and popping off with all the kills coming in there. And I gotta say, the aggression we're seeing from them there, it shows the confidence that's coming out from the boys. So it's obviously fantastic to see. And yeah, unfortunate for Twisted Minds, they got absolutely locked down in that game.
They did. They got locked in there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's first and second and third.
Oh yeah.
For, I think Toby said it best. It's all bread and butter at that point for those teams. For me, the big takeaway was Richard Bisler, Richie B, Third Eye, a team that is on the cusp and has been struggling to sort of make it to that cutoff point. Did manage to salvage a lot of points. They got up to 43, so they're actually back in the hunt off the back of that game.
Yeah, but to me, I gotta say, it looks like only 1 or 2 spots available now. Yeah. The top teams are absolutely stacking the points, and it's going to be really hard. Even though we got some games to go, it's going to be rough. It's like you need to have one good game to be in the race, and then you need to have another good game to get into the top 8.
Which I think in some ways opens up a discussion about the value of getting in the losers bracket if you know you're a top team. Because I know Luminosity...
Extra training.
Exactly. And the guys are going into the finals fresh.
Yeah.
They're going in with a massive confidence boost, right?
Exactly.
Because some of the way that they've played these games, they can go a little crazy. And, Ghibli, for instance, was a little struggling. And now they're just going to be blazing going into the last matches.
Yeah, it's like the story loves to tell about like your various high school or college teams. Then they throw a match in against some of the kind of worst teams before the state championships, right? And then you come in and you're absolutely able to dominate everything. So yeah, the confidence boost here from playing in lowest brackets from the teams that are right now are dominating. Your Luminosity Gaming, your Twisted Minds. It's going to be good, or it could be. So. let's see if it's going to be a factor in the grand finals.
Absolutely, and the teams that want to not have to sort of be on the edge, because that is not a confidence boost, struggling to get through losers bracket at the end is going to set you up for a tough run in the grand final, which, remember, only 2 days away. That's where the big money, the PGC points, are going to come into play. That mid-pack has been tight, and there's not a lot of spots left. It seems like there's maybe 1-2 possible positions to take away, because FaZe has been doing a good job of locking up those points, making sure that nobody can really get caught up.
Yeah, the big one for me, of course, is here that we're now looking at how are they performing, how are they doing, all these top teams here. It's obviously interesting, but still, to me, you have to have these teams here that are chasing right now. They have to keep putting on points, even though they're not, going out and dropping 11 kills, 6 kills, 9. But a third place and 3, that's going to add some. And if you're able to do that for the next couple of games here and then have a big game, then you're making it into the top 8.
It's not just the 3 kills and the placement. It's the fact that the rest of those placement points, the rest of those massive kill dumps are going to teams that are comfortably already in the top 8. You don't have to stress out. If you're Third Eye, if you're one of these teams on the cusp and Luminosity wins a game, that's actually good news to you in a lot of ways. It means you, in this situation, you want the rich to get richer so that you have a chance to get a little extra for yourself.
So the rich can get Bizzler.
The rich can get Bizzler. Richie B did turn on in that match. Let's take a look back at the end game here. Luminosity took the high ground. All they had to do is they put Flood in charge of defending against Richie B. Once he goes down, really it's just an easy end game for Luminosity. There just wasn't much the Twisted Minds could do. Even with the smoke, it was just sort of a defensive measure.
Yeah, at this point they're like estimating, okay, how many points can we get out? Is it even worth trying to send out? And once they had the first knock, Kick got the first knock, and then it's just like, okay, we're going to have to deny it here. We don't want to let them run away with it. If they get too much confidence in winning these kind of fights, it's going to be rough. Kick started with 5 at 742. That's probably going to be another man of the match for Kick.
Another man of the match for him. I will say, Twisted Minds denying in a situation where they're basically fighting for like 3rd place does speak to me on how they're keeping that focus of following the strategy for the next bracket. They're looking at the future. I like that they do those intelligence plays. Kickstart, though, great game. And Rello, this is a player who is also the shot caller for the team. I remember the era of IGLs didn't have to be as good as everybody else. That is long gone. And players like Rello who are leading teams very strongly. And Kickstart, the ultimate, I mean, this is the Michael Jordan of PUBG in North America. He trains sun up to sundown. He says he works harder than anybody else and is committed to being the best.
Yeah, I love what I'm seeing from him. Honestly, he's such a character, right? And he's coming in with insane winner's mentality. He always wants to be number 1, both on an individual level, but also for the team here.
Let's take a look at the team summaries overall, where everyone's at during this bracket. LG does manage to move up a little higher in total damage and average survival, but it's not going to change that much. The reality is Twisted, LG, Ghibli have just been dominant in the losers bracket.
Yeah, I mean, we're expecting these teams to do well, right? So that's what's happening, of course, for that case. 21 for Luminosity, as we talk about. More teams, though, on double digits. We're having 13, 12, and 12 there. And it's the teams that's already rich, as we've been talking about, right? It doesn't really matter too much, but if you're on our mid-pack teams, those 3, 4, 7, 8 points for Third Eye and 5 for Petrichor Road, it's going to be important once we get into the last match, because it's going to come down to the last match for that last or second, like the 2 spots that we're going to have in 8th and 7th, potentially.
17 going to be very happy with those numbers. We go to the overall leaderboard. You're going to see 17 continuing to climb up into a more comfortable position, as that will take them to 60 off the back of that game. And now it really is becoming a battle. Petrichor Road needs to go into game number 4. They need to make some plays, because that's the difference. FaZe has been grinding up point after point to keep that buffer zone there. Richard Bizzler kept Third Eye in this one. GEX continue to try to make it happen, but those teams can't seem to close on anybody except Petrichor. So what do you do if you're them?
And right now, if you have 3 games to go and you're Petrichor Road, you're going to have a target on your back, because you have 8 other teams that are looking at you saying, you know what, there's a huge opportunity for them to potentially take that spot. So they're the hunted at this moment. They have 10 points to catch up to get to the 7th spot. It's going to be hard. I feel like at this point, even with 3 games to go, you need to have 2 big games to get into the top 8. And with half the lobby looking at Petrichor Road for third-party opportunities, that's going to be rough for Petrichor Road for sure.
And that's a great point. You bring up those third parties. When it gets to this stage of the game, there are points where the top teams can choose who gets to go to the grand final with them. Petrichor has players, has pedigree. You don't want them there with you. So that is a massive risk. Third Eye, another team. You can see them studying the paperwork, trying to make the move that they need to. Richard Bizzler sits on 3 cushions on top of that chair, just so you know.
He's not just that big.
No, he likes to be comfortable when he plays.
Oh, like the princess on the P?
Like the princess on the P?
I like that.
Maybe that's what happened the first couple days. That someone slipped a P under there and no one knew about it. Check in with Tainted Twisted Minds. These guys have been absolutely unstoppable in this stage. It seems like they only get stronger as events push forward, and it's been incredible to see.
Yeah, I love what I'm seeing from them here, but we're ready to go to the next game. 3 more games to go, Tobies.
3 more games to go. Let's get into it and head over to the vivacious voices of Toby and the Paper Thin.
Well, thank you very much, Toffees. I appreciate the in front of my name. That adds the extra bit of emphasis. I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you are the Paper Thin. I mean, yesterday you were questioning it yourself.
There are no
So
others.
it's good that others can remind you that you are the Paper Thin.
It's good to know that in my existential angst, like, I'm still myself. That's very good. Even at 38 years old, I'm still here and I'm still me.
Here. Alive, kicking.
That's right.
Not so much.
Well, I'm not kicking so
a
much,
little bit.
but I'm alive.
A little bit. I mean, yes. At least I hope so. Let's see as we head on over to Erangel for the second to last time of this losers bracket. Playing pretty straightforward. Not gonna lie, it's almost, I said almost, as fair as can be.
Yeah, this is about as good as it gets.
Could be a little more diagonal, I suppose, a little more Milta power over North George-esque, but this is all right.
Yeah, the only team who might complain about this is like LG, but at this point they have nothing to complain about.
I was gonna say they have no rights.
Yep, nothing to complain about.
No
Too bad.
rights.
You don't get to complain this time, Trevor.
Didn't even pen fight last game. That's how you lose your.
The funny thing is, I can see him.
Yeah.
And he but it's delayed. So like
oh, true, true.
Anyway, all right. Yeah, LG probably just gonna go Novo this time, I guess.
I mean, they might as well if no one else is. They're not going to be able to stretch all the way to Milta power. So get vehicles over the, over towards Milta, and then make way further forward.
Or contest with phase for some of these vehicles by the crossroads. Oh, kind of curious to see. Petrogor Road is going to be fanning out a bit more around this Razak drop. You can see AZ. Normally, you do have a player out here on the Razak drop, right? Because there's there's car spawns and other things. But then they sent Kui all the way out to the Sunken City this time.
Yeah. And I can't be. The desk kind of alluded to it as we head the circle up towards the north.
Yes.
A little bit of variety, never hurt nobody.
Stalber, please.
It is pretty entertaining when it does go up there.
Stalber finishes are great.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. But what I want to say is that, again, going back to the whole teams that are in can potentially take out teams that are potentially out. Twisted Minds is looting right next to Petrogor. And if there's a team that Twisted Mind would just not want grand finals with them, I could only imagine it being put them.
Gotta be licking your lips. If you're Twisted Minds, you have nothing to lose, right? Nothing to lose. Correctly, nothing to lose.
Do it.
Might as well go for it. I'd love to see it. Please hit this shot, and I promise I will give you a great clip to put in your highlight reel in the future. Okay. I gave Vegas
that's
some
not
earlier.
enough. It wasn't enough.
We gave Vegas.
It wasn't enough. You didn't give it highlight reel.
Oh, that's not good enough?
$1 trillion. He would have hit the shot.
$1 trillion. I don't have that much. That's like.
Well, I mean, you don't have to be able to give it.
It's like more than South Korea's GDP.
True. Most countries, I'd imagine.
Certainly.
Yep.
Well, if you're a Gen G fan, A, you got to be feeling good about today, and B, you got to be feeling good about this circle since they're dropping Yaz. Currently, that will not be their drop spot going into the grand finals because that's Danawa territory.
And I was just going to say, as much as this circle favors Gen G's loot spot, how does Gen G favor playing from the center? Because that's not exactly where they're usually the most comfortable. Exactly. And it's a weird thing, and I've had this discussion with both Tal and other players before. It's so fun that we're in a game of PUBG. You just automatically take for granted that if the circle comes to where you loot, everyone's happy. But for the teams that really like playing it, a team like Twisted Minds, what normally happens when they sit center early on is they'll stay center, obviously, because, I mean, now they're there. And then when or if the circle shifts to the edge, they actually stick around. Even though they're technically the closest to the new center circle, they're sticking around on what then becomes the edge, because they have all the info of who's around them, and then they just play that much better on edge because they were center in the previous circle. So curious to see if potentially, depending on where Gen G opts to set up shop, they will try and go for the same play, or if they're just going to full commit center now that it's gone their direction.
I'm not even sure in this current iteration of Gen G that they would even do that. Like, I think no matter what, they're going to spread out in some fashion.
Yeah.
Like no matter what. And then my concern is as we saw earlier, that they don't always, you know, coalesce, condense when they need to. Lou here, just what you're talking about, Toby. Time to try to punish Petrichor Road.
Yep, they know where they are. They know where they rotate. Let's see if Lou can hit the shots needed to find at least one out of this vehicle. No, not gonna happen. With the first one, second time around, though, SKS in hand, able to take one out. But again, Cavalry was there. They will get the cleanup, but here comes the rest of Twisted Minds.
Every piece of damage you could do would be great, but Aches left is better. He has got a couple down. Mill now has to prone behind the vehicle. Perfectix and Spyro trying to show up in the backside. Batulin's going to be flushed. Now, this is a little bit of the danger here of trying something like this, Toby. You are feeding a few points over to Petrichor Road, but if you can stop them from getting many more, fantastic.
That's the thing, right? Doing it just a little bit more damage here. Finding maybe 2 kills could be them. Yes, you give 2 points of your own, but if you can limit them to a 2, potentially 3-point game by losing 2 yourself, I think Twisted Minds will consider that definitely worthwhile. This time around, though, no kills for them. 2 kills gone the opposite direction. Not what they would have wanted. Did that nade just bounce on the water?
In the water. I can see one in the bottom of the river.
Like the initial trajectory bounced over like on the waterfront.
Maybe a little bit of an observer glitch.
I didn't know you could skip smokes.
Oh, that would be pretty sweet if you could.
Imagine.
I like skipping rocks is fun.
Imagine. I like the attempt though for Twisted Minds to go out and do this, because now Petrichor has to play with that potentially happening in mind for the last 2 games as well.
Yeah, no. Look, Twisted Minds is absolutely well within their rights to do that, and they are smart to do that.
Yep.
Like you were hinting at, or not hinting at, but very explicitly laying out in the beginning of this game. Good idea. Just couldn't quite execute it the way they wanted, I'm sure. Ghibli, wide rotation to the east of Stalber, and FaZe trailing behind them by quite some distance, but also Pentagram mirroring this rotation. You can see them out on the left. So a lot of teams think about trying to wrap to the north of Stalber here.
And FaZeland very, I don't want to say famous for, but at least usually opting to go out on that eastern side. Some compounds there on the east side of Stalber that when the circles do end up in that area, the victorious teams rarely go below double-digit in kills because you have so much control, so good an option for control to play out on the east side of that circle. So expect to see FaZe set up shop down around the east side of Stalber.
Third Eye. They are on the other side of Stalber. Then they are under the eyes of Ascend. A little bit of damage done to the lead member of the team in their vehicle formation. And that's going to be about it. And the rest of the way should be smooth sailing unless they happen to just drive another kilometer right into Ghibli.
I am curious now that I know that our eyes are on Third Eye, but I'm curious to see when Ascent opts to not change their playstyle as in a massive overhaul of the entire strategy they've laid out, but just dare to go more aggressive. We've seen them when they play 4v4s. They are actually pretty damn good at this game. It's just as if the playstyle doesn't really build around them taking fights. It's more of a let's play passive for as long as we can, and then we're forced to fight. We will then engage. I think the situation they're currently in, Saturn 12, 38 points total. They need more points than just potential late game points. And Suju, well, he doesn't need more headshots because he just connected 2 of them.
That's pretty nasty.
It was pretty good looking. On a moving target too.
Yeesh. Well,
and then he goes,
that Mika is going to make him pay the price.
Yeah. Hey, Ascent. Aggressive-ish. I like it.
Sort of. It's pretty far away.
I mean, yeah.
That's almost 500
I mean,
maybe
Ascent shot at something before 8 minutes in. If that is not Ascent playing aggressive, then I don't know what it is.
Okay. So this is I see what you're saying. This is Ascent playing aggressive.
On their most aggressive. Shoot at something 500 meters away and actually doing surprisingly good amount of damage. That's what I'm saying. They're pretty good at taking these fights.
When Mika has the range dialed in like that, and it's well worth it. You're absolutely right. Okay, we love to see the aggressive play for
super
Ascent.
aggressive plays coming in at 500 meters.
That's what we wanted to see. LG, dude, they're trailing kind of a lot of teams want to wrap around this north side.
Yes.
They all seem, because so much of this first circle is water, you kind of get it in your head that there's a decent chance this ends like Stalber, North Stalber.
The issue is, though, we've seen it so many times this tournament already, babes. Let me lay it out for you. Because everyone is now going north, this game ends in Yasnaya.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
This is going to be a city ending in Yasnaya. We can see it already. It's just so many teams north of Stalber, and the circle goes, guys, you clearly have not been paying attention this tournament whatsoever.
It is the PGS 1 law that we have to hard shift away from our team.
Yep, that is how it's been, at least up until this point. We'll see if it continues to be so. Ghibli spotting a free Rello. Can't quite get a free kill on him, though, as Gumin whips a few that he probably wish he wouldn't have.
Yeah, Gumin able to find that grenade. I thought if he had stuck on that spray a little bit longer when Relo was driving, he might have been able to catch that Relo's vehicle spun in the air and he could potentially find the knock, but now he's able to continue to lock this down. Flood as it grows on the backside. All of Ghibli is here.
I love the fact that he got the first one on point, the second one he just yeeted off the mountain.
Yeah, why not?
It's a bit of a stress nade the second time around, exactly, as he waits for his team to get up close. Tosi is in a really high ground position, set up there in the mountain above. He could potentially have a really good angle to try and suppress down below if Snakers and Flood wants to push over.
One more good grenade from Heaven will end this particular round, but he's actually going to find Kickstart with it. I was going to say of Relo. Instead, he finds the knock on a kick. Well-placed grenades from Heaven, and LG might just be done with this.
Yeah. No reason for them to stick around here. Nice 180 set up there as Ghibli, again, aggressively trying to come over and claim these kills, having, of course, seen the vehicle dip and heard it as well. 2 easy points for Bibbles.
That's right. Now you're getting it.
Yeah, I'm getting this. It's growing on me. It's growing on me. I like it.
It is cute, right? It's fun to say.
Yeah.
I feel like it fits with their name. Ooh, Tanawat, though, hits Glaz. And Glaz was in the middle of that 3-man formation that Ghibli had, so well, I don't know what happened there, but Glaz did not last long.
Not at all. Circle did not do what we thought it was going to. It does shift Westo out into open terrain, limited playability terrain, and we'll see how, when this fight comes to an end, I could only imagine Purple Mood is opting to rotate into that one. We've questioned Purple Mood's, not rotation ideas, but rotation executions so far in this tournament. Paper, they have been going in the right directions, but then not really daring. In similar fashion to Sun Sister, not really been daring to claim what they were kind of giving themselves access to. So curious to see how Purple Moon are planning on getting off this mountain.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think them and Sun Sister hopefully are going to learn some hard lessons from this event that, you know, hopefully they can go back, watch that tape, realize that there is potential for them to, you know, finish much better, to have much better performances.
They fit in the ecosystem, because again, when you're a team that do something that most other teams don't, while we see Luminosity run the gauntlet on this one, when you're a team that plays a style that no one else does, you might not have to be the best team in the lobby, but you can still usually thrive, because you end up positioning yourself in areas where there ain't a whole lot of teams around you.
Exactly. No, yeah, it's been tough for Sun Sister in particular. You know, and I was hoping that maybe we could see, you know, with the performance they had at the end of the PGS, to kind of rip away what looked like an assured win for a couple other teams. You know, Sun Sister put up a monster last couple days to get here. I mean, absolutely monster.
Yeah.
Last couple of days. So, well, we'll see if maybe there's a readjustment as things go towards PGS2 and Snickers goes towards this shack and might die when he gets there. Yep.
Yeah. He didn't even get in.
That's an M16 for Mill.
I mean, I think any gun could have done it at that point. He had like 1 HP. Toss a pan at him.
Oh, wait, the saw doesn't spawn on this map. What's the worst gun on this map?
Toss a pan at him.
The pan?
Yeah, exactly. The mortars that we were talking about the other day.
Yeah. Pan's not a gun, Toby. Well, I want to know what the worst gun that spawns on this map.
The worst gun is a pan, because it's not even a gun.
Well,
breaking logic, one sentence at a time.
We're done with this conversation. Ghibli has Tosi over behind the rock. Now you have Gibbles down to just 3, as we saw Glaz get glazed a little bit earlier. You're welcome, Kalaris. As 17 Gaming sits in the gas station and the area around it. GEX is completely fanned out, taking a lakeside vacation around the Yasnaya Lake.
They're playing the odds. They're waiting for the hard shifts.
Yes.
I mean, can't fault them.
Smart.
Cannot. Coming into this tournament, I would say, what the hell are you doing down there? Now that we've seen this entire tournament unfold, I'm like, you know what? Ending in the water, you know, why not? At this point, are we really going to be surprised? Probably would be. A little bit.
Well, a little bit, but, I mean, not with the way things have gone. Normally, I'd be surprised. But.
Exactly. I do like that they're sitting around, because not only are they on the edge, so not really in danger, but not overcommitting to anything that might not be playable late. If you commit to a shack, if you commit to a dip, you can be pretty sure that once you've committed to it, those tires are going to be gone, and you will have to stick around and play the rest of the game on foot. So let's not commit before we get a better inkling of where the game is actually going to end. And also, while staying here, they get to sit tight and make sure no one comes in behind them.
Yeah, no. I really like what you're saying. Tosi really likes what he's seeing. It's Thunders ripped away from this lobby. Now Heaven gonna turn on to Tanawat and take him down. Purple Mood just walking into Ghibli's opening arms. 4 boats with some grenades, but now he takes the crossfire from Tosi. And Fluky out on an island, may need to try to find an island for safety.
And while okay, let's hold the floor for a second.
Circle?
Yeah, Circle has shifted up towards the north. Ascent are sat dead center in the pretty much one of the only compounds that are left in this very northern shift. 17, nice rotation, kind of refortifying Little Ghost's position further up towards the north. They should be getting guests over at any time soon, or at least have a pretty good chance of shooting at half the server. Issue is they're not fully inside the circle themselves. I'm looking at STK on the map right now, and very curious that they're brave enough to try and maintain this two-way split, because that is two pretty prioritized compounds.
Yeah, I would like to see them go towards Purdy Curdy's compound up on the north. Heaven gets ZP on now. I mean, Ghibli is just
they're on one.
Beyond confident right now. This is the Ghibli I saw in the PWS Grand Finals.
Exactly.
That could do no wrong.
Exactly. That's what I was going to try and allude into before we saw the circle shift before. Because I know Ghibli are kind of talking their own tale in how they're performing right now. But I just want to give them a massive shout out. Considering how we saw them play coming into the beginning of this tournament, they're one of the teams that have adjusted the best to their own mistakes early on and are playing flawless PUBG right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're really doing a good job making their semi-aggressive edge style pay off.
Yep.
They hold angles so well. They recover from fights quickly. They play off of each other well right now. Heaven is going to go down to Jeems. Now, this is a tough position for them. They got sandwiched between a couple different teams. But again, this round not of particular importance for Ghibli. Some damage being done. And Adam actually finds Specs on the backside. Now, that's problematic for FaZe.
Yep, as you said, not really that necessary for Ghibli, but crucial for FaZe. Only a couple of games left. They're not solidified in the top 8 just yet. Only sat currently at 59 points, and losing players this early on is not exactly how they would start off the mid-game here.
This has opened the door for Ghibli to do some damage. I cannot believe that New Happy didn't get aggressive on this fight, if I'm being perfectly honest. Instead, they're rotating away from this. They need points more than anybody else that's involved in this. I mean, like you said, FaZe needs points, and now they're walking right to the guns of Gen G. Taemin is making them pay, getting 3 headshots with the SLR, puts 3 members of New Happy down. Ming Ming's gonna have to stick these reses.
What an absolute beast. The New Happy just, I mean, magnets on their helmets these days. They can't go anywhere without getting their hats popped off. We'll see now. I think that's going to be Xiaopian down. Nope, not exactly. Has managed to crawl off just a bit. And it's actually GX who are pulling up here. So maybe Ming Ming should be able to get one up. As I say, that they're not going to happen. Phase 4 is going to connect now. Xiaopian out.
Yeah, and GEX now even trying to see if they can get involved. But Nan, somehow, some way, able to get Leo knocked. The rest of Gen G trying to back up Taemin. HS out in the open. Point going to be scooped up by Foxy. Nan and Ming Ming in the blue, trying to work through 2 different teams to keep their tournament hopes alive. But it is crumbling. It is desperate. It is dire for New Happy.
Really is. They need to get something going, and probably should have gotten something going a long time ago. Just 2 more games left to play after this one. 0-point performance in this match. Up until this point, we'll see if they can get some flushes on the knocks down the hillside. 1 molly still for Ming Ming to lob forward. I would imagine, yeah, it's going to come through.
He's got to make it go. Meanwhile, Gen G's just backstabbing GEX here. Zed Nan down to Foxy from afar. And now Ming Ming continuing to try to find some way to get over this hill, some way to find points as his team desperate. And Ming Ming waiting. Oh, it's Nan actually. He's going to open up there, find the first knock. Ming Ming now on his horse, trying to push in towards these smokes, but the smokes persist. A couple fresh ones down as well here. Gen G, PO is down, but Yuri striking. Nan's dead. Ming Ming out in the blue. He's going to get 1. Can he find any more? Ming Ming with 2. Ming Ming saving New Happy.
Doing everything he can to stay alive here. Sen falls, and so many more points coming through, but Foxy from afar able to take him down from the compound up the hillside. That was 3 points just stolen away there from New Happy. Points they desperately needed.
Now a grenade plus some shots from Hikari have Gen G on the back foot potentially. Foxy just knows that GEX is in dire straits and is trying to finish the job. Him and Taemin working together. A stun up and over. Savior, is he going to be ready? No. It's going to be Foxy with the finish. Gen G here going to claim the lives of GEX and basically put New Happy out of this.
And the fight that unfolded while we were looking the other direction was 17, initially pushing up on Petrichor, taking them out, and then Twisted Minds immediately to follow. The southern side of Erangel here, or of the rest of the circle in Erangel, really lit on fire with that previous circle shift. And even though it's one that everyone was expecting, coming back down to the south off the water, there's just so limited area to play around. Everyone was getting pinced closer, or forced closer and closer to one another. And once that first fight starts, everyone eager to try and third party.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely. Yeah, there's just not enough space in here to do much else other than wrap the edges and try to sweep.
Yeah.
Pentagram now trying to do their best sweeping. 17 is under pressure from SDK, but they're able to return fire accurately. Lil Ghost takes a Vegas.
There should be no way, right?
It's about close enough if he was like a little bit higher up. But Penta gets Lil Ghost knocked. This shack is bad news if Wicked gets a little bit closer.
Adder, not really. I mean, luckily for 17, Adder doesn't really have the better angle on that one there. They're just inside the circle, I believe. So for now, should be all right. Issue is Pentagram. I'm just going to be waiting for them to come out.
Now, 17 is in 5th place currently, so they're getting there.
Yeah.
And they may be there. Depending on how all this goes, Circle's going to shift up to the north towards Ascend, who that was a team you talked about a lot early in this game, that they need those points so badly.
And so far, they've been able to chill in the compound, which, luckily for them, hasn't really given them any of those points that they desperately need. We'll see if they can get something along the way. 17 trying to wrap around the ridge line here, not really working their way, losing 2 in transition. Gibley losing 1 as well now, actually the last player. So they're going to fall in 9th, and just now, we're making our way into placement points as we hit the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, Suju along the edge, just skirting the side, seeing if Pentagram will reveal themselves to him, but they are sticking a res. Alo should be able to find the finish. Yes, indeed, the flush onto Xiao Didi. It's going to be good. STK able to stay alive. You know, we talked about them a little bit or a long time ago, it feels like, that they're still kicking.
I mean, they committed to the compound. We wanted them to commit to at least one of them, regardless of it being gas station or the hills up above. They went north, or south, I mean, as soon as they saw EXO come closer. So smart from Penta to dip on the north side compound to leave the split. And now, while they're outside the circle, Purdy has made his way inside the circle.
All right, the 2 survivors from Gen G slip in along the edge of the circle, but lose a lot of players out here on the other side. And I think they realize that after those shots, they're like, let's try the other way. But Vox actually has an angle onto the retreating players of Sun Sister and Gen G, and Fevin out in the open. Easy pickings.
Now, while we might... I don't say we can already give the win to Ascent. I'm curious to see how many kills they're going to be coming out with. Because right now, as long as these fights are not happening on their kind of downhill side of this circle, there's not really anything they can do to engage on it. As long as the fights are happening down towards the south, it's very limited for them to get kills, unless if they actively go out and try and claim them. So we'll see how much of the commotion is going to continue up here as Third Eye push further towards the south.
I mean, my concern for Ascent is they have 0 kills, Toby, in this game.
Exactly.
It's just... like you were saying, they got to start getting aggressive. I think Richie B, that's going to be Sun Sister taking care of. Third Eye continuing to accumulate points. I believe they're up into 8th place right now, if I'm not mistaken.
On the cusp, set tied there with Petrico at 52.
All right, XO sat on the edge, still 4-man strong, empty left as an anchor as they're trying to get into SDK, but it's actually Adder and Akari who are doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. And they are, you know, with EXO on the other side, but Pentagram is pushing in and just wipes SDK.
I mean, Adder just full-blown spraying through the smoke, finding the double. SDK left with limited to no options, tried to make a play on back, not going to happen. Penned in between 2 teams, a nice quick execution from Pentagram. A team who also desperately needs these points, sat currently in 11th place.
Exactly. Pentagram has to get kill hungry. Oh, there's 3 alive for Gen G. I missed that we got the res on a Tamien earlier. I knew Pio died, and I just assumed that Tamien did. Oops-a-daisies. Sorry, Tamien. Hikari, though, his Korean brethren, sits underneath him on the hill. They just spotted each other. They were both jumping at the same time, and Tamien, with a pretty nice 3x spray, at least backs him off.
Good shots connected to force him off that angle once more. Kita able to find Hikari again. Similar situation we saw with 17 before, trying to use that ridgeline to wrap around. You will be visible to opponents in better positions. And, well, unluckily for them, global PUBG players tend to hit their shots.
Yeah, they're kind of good at this game.
Yeah, pretty decent.
Pretty good. All right, Third Eye trying to make their way down the hill, but it's Chris.
Welcome to the game, Ascent.
There we go. He had some great shots onto Richie B. The real question is can Third Eye get there and get back to Richie B? Right now, they're not even looking at him.
I'm curious to see how EXO are planning on playing this one. They're the only team who have yet to really commit to a decision, and now I think they do. Could go wrap on the northern side, maybe even collapse on the compound because Brax is running out. If they time this right, they might get a 4v1 against Killikai, but that's a long journey over towards that side. I think they're going to send instead. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, let's see if they can make this work. Adam on his own here. Box is kind of cut off by those smokes, so he's in a car. It looks like moving in. It's Chris is going to find that kill. Taming continues to peek down towards Pentagram. XO. Smokes are out. They're not even a fully commit. As Third Eye was able to get the bulk of their forces there. Oh, MT. Some absolutely nasty shots along with Ikerman. XO has Pentagram nearly eliminated, and it's going to be done by Gen G.
Pentagram down and out in 5th, but great game for them. Cannot take that away from them. And now is when Ascent is starting to flex out. I wanted to maybe have them do it earlier, but of course, Compound is always great to have. Take advantage of it for as long as you can. Brax wrapping one side, Micah wrapping the other. DG tanking the blue as he's trying to find just one more flush before he goes down. Doesn't manage to get it.
Very nicely done here by Third Eye. Still hanging on, but now Brax finds the angle, finds the headshot. That's 2 headshots. Third Eye almost down and out. Brexico trying to find that last survivor from Third Eye. This is tough now.
And right now he's just buying time. Killikai still set all the way down in the compound, actually able to find Akita. Nice angle from him, staying behind, playing the over-the-shoulder protector for the rest of the team, and really being a nuisance to both, I mean, to all of EXO, really.
Even though everything is, it's Chris, just in there, it's done. The grenade is good. Ascend coming to life. They have 4 kills. Can they finish the job? Can they win this game? Empty already knocked. It's Chris trying to spray the tree line, trying to see if he can get at least 1 more point. They're out in the smoke, but it's Chris. Out duels Akita. 2 left now for EXO. The walls are closing in.
I mean, EXO's been fighting, and then fighting some more. Ascend in the meantime has been setting tight, so nice. Helmets, vest, utility should be there as well. Kang does manage to find one, but they're just having their backs pushed all the way up against the blue now as both Brax and Killikai comes up close.
Ooh, Brax was thinking about the grenade, but has to think better of it. Killikai good for the crossfire, though, and now they are getting annihilated, and it's done. Ascend is going to find a win near the 11th hour. 8 kills for them.
Good 18-point game for them. Did they need more? Maybe, but they'll be well satisfied with this one, with 2 games still to be played.
Yeah, this is huge. There's no other way to cut it for them. Some big games from some teams that really need it.
Exactly. I mean, we see here on the overalls, Third Eye team to rack up the most points. Penta getting a lot of points now. Ascent as well. Some of these teams getting a lot of points now, which is just going to make the final 2 games even more exciting.
Precisely. Well, don't go anywhere, guys. We've got some highlights. We've got a desk, and then the final 2 games of the day. You don't want to go anywhere.
Ascend with the ace as the chicken dinner comes through, and they get some much needed points at a very crucial time, all on the back of It's Chris.
That was a northern circle galore right there, and it kept going north. We even saw a lot of water going into the 3rd circle, so you could see so many teams fighting. And that southeastern fight there, you had so many teams on this kind of smaller shacks there. Oh my god, I did not expect such a mayhem there. And also some really nice shots coming in from Taman onto New Heavy there. That was super impressive shots from him.